What up, what up, what up, everybody? What up, world? Welcome to the Fanatic Sports Podcast. Very excited to have y'all here with us this afternoon, evening. It's 5 p.m. in Central Standard Time, so we'll call that evening. It's been a few weeks, I think, 10 days or so. It's been a long time. I've missed you all. I haven't. I'm tired. I've been working my behind off. And so it's good to have a break, man. It's good to have some time to be, a human being instead of this celebrity that we are all the time.
Not with that hair.
Okay. Look, listen, okay. It's crazy underneath this hat, everybody. It's crazy underneath this hat, so I won't bother taking it off. But for any of you that knew me, you knew that before I grew my hair out, it was crazy under the hat anyways. Whatever. Whatever. We won't worry about it. It's crazy underneath this hat. I got the angry Puerto Rican with me. It's good to be back. It's good to have some time away, but it's good to be back. Somebody mentioned it. And actually, there's some people we follow on Instagram. Shout out to everybody on Instagram. I love everybody on every platform that shows up.
Facts.
Y'all. I'll be honest with you. I get tired, and this is a grueling process. Being a content creator, being doing this stuff on the internet, podcasting. We live regular lives. We got jobs. We got families. We got kids. We got lives. The whole shebang. So everybody on every platform is awesome. But shout out to everybody on Instagram, because our Instagram follow. Have you seen this? Have you looked at this yet? So look, man, I can tell you, bro, we are at let me get to our homepage, bro. We have 3,365 followers. Shout out to each and every one of y'all that checked us out. And we're growing by every day. Today I looked at our notifications today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 followers in the last 10 minutes, all because of the Martin Luther King ad that we posted. Shout out to everybody, but definitely shout out to our Instagram following. That is going crazy. So big
Look,
fan.
I just want to say thank you to all of y'all. Thank you.
I'm not gonna do the hand sign.
Do not do that. Hey, don't do that. Don't do that. We're not doing that, man. Just literally. Hey, look, we just go like this, man. And no, I'm not trying to choke myself. Internet, look, guys, just here, heart. Thank you.
In my heart.
Yeah, because internet take it out of context, and it's all over.
That's
good.
Look, you saw that lady. It was some lady. She's in Congress or something, and she did that. I guess she was trying to be funny. I don't know what she was trying to prove, but whatever it was, she had to resign from her post after that. So
hey, look,
it ain't nothing to play with.
All I gotta say is it's a crazy 25 that we living in right now, man.
That's for sure.
Before we start. I don't care what anybody's political beliefs are, but I will say this right now. Shout out to all the Mexicans that I actually have worked with, or someone that has worked with them. I feel bad. It's not a happy situation. It's a horrible situation.
Not
I'm gonna leave it at that. So
yeah,
I'm gonna leave it at that.
So yeah, definitely to the families. I want to support. I want you to know that we're here with you. We fight
over
with
2,000 deported in 2 days.
Crazy.
So that's all I gotta say. So
that is wild to me. Just the idea that in a world where we all need each other, the last thing I want is for your skin. Listen, ring up the swear jar. There's assholes everywhere in every shape and color, and I can guarantee you that I won't go based off color or race or ethnic whatever as a means to determine that you're an asshole. If you're an asshole, you're just an asshole. It doesn't matter what color. They make assholes in every color. I think
my man said.
I think that's $6. We'll put that in the swear jar.
Look, my man said,
sorry,
if you're
Mom.
an asshole, you're an asshole.
Sorry,
All right,
Mom.
for real, he really is. If he means that. If you an asshole, you an asshole. And by the way, don't mind my little made up band-aid I got on my finger. I cut myself at work today. So,
but yeah, so I mean, like just to be honest, okay, Grizzlies and Nuggets. But yeah, man, it blows my mind to think that we would push somebody out when this country was built on being diverse, being different, being accepting that. For us to not get to that point is mind-blowing to me. But it is what it is, and we're a strong country. We're a strong country, so we won't fold, we won't buckle. We're just gonna keep fighting. Look, here's the interesting thing. The man said he was gonna make the country great again, or make it great, and I'm gonna hold him to that, and that's where I'm gonna leave it. Your political beliefs, who you vote for, vote for who you can afford to be. Be who you can afford to be. Pat.
Facts.
Yeah, people say that all the time. Be who you can afford to be. That's cool. I'm not gonna hate on nobody for that. But at the end of the day, he's gonna end up making the country great whether he wants to or not. And that's the funny thing about it. We can go back and forth about a lot of things, but he's gonna make the country great whether he wants to or not. But we didn't come here. We didn't come here to talk politics. Ironically,
we did not.
We came to argue about something much more important in life.
I don't know if I really want to call this arguing, though. Like, I really don't know if I want to call this topic arguing, man. It's like an agree to disagree type thing right here, because I don't really know how I feel about this, because it's a very unique topic.
That's a good one. That's a good word. Unique. I like that one. Unique. That's a good one. Unique. I can go with unique. Where is this? Okay, so here's what we'll do. Let's start with this, because I need before we do anything else, I do need you to give me a good old "I told you so." All right. So we said this when you drafted Jaden Daniels, right? And you were excited. Okay. And we talked about this before the draft. And I said that Washington was surprisingly a good team, because once they got the quarterback, that's the last piece they needed. They tried Sam, what was his name? Sam Howell. And they tried, before that, they had another quarterback that we thought would be pretty good as well, but it never came to fruition for him.
What was his name? Oh man, because I remember I read an article. They were talking about how they probably wanted him.
Bunch of quarterbacks, but they've always been one piece away, and it was just the quarterback, and they found their guy, right? So let's take a moment. Kudos to you. Kudos to you guys doing a great job pulling in Jaden Daniels, and then you started off strong. You started off by making the playbook easy for him. And just literally not making this hard for him and letting him be the athlete that he is. So talk a little bit about what he's done as a player and what he's done for your team so far this season, or throughout this season, and what you expect going forward.
So I think what he did as a player, and it's been all over, that they had to have a VR machine. He had to be in VR. Okay. And that was the thing that he needed to be able to say, I want to go with Washington, right? You want to sign him, but that was one of the things he wanted to progress and be better.
Yeah.
Okay. And they talked about how, in his college years, before he came to LSU, he went to LSU and he's having a mediocre season. He had 2 mediocre seasons beforehand. Before he got to LSU, and he met with this company, these 2 people who worked with him and said, "Hey, we're gonna take this VR. We're gonna take it, and we want to help you improve."
Right.
And it changed because what happened? He became a Heisman Trophy winner.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it changed the way people now want to look at the game. The fact that they put the game, the speed up so that everything's a little bit slower makes things a little bit easier. So
Yeah.
that being said, the guy that we drafted, I don't think anybody thought he was going to be the best rookie QB to ever touch a football. Because at the end of the day, he is the best rookie QB to touch the football. No rookie, no rookie QB has done what that man has done. You can put out any name you want. No rookie QB has done this.
So I mean, look, and I'm looking at, I'm downloading the highlights to look at because I want to go through this. And actually, shockingly, we're literally only 11 minutes into the show, and we're already about to go off of the topics that I wrote down. But so I had a conversation with a friend of mine, and we were talking about quarterbacks, right? So this is the thing. For the second year in a row, we have the number 2 pick having a phenomenal season and the number 1 pick struggling through it. Right? So my question to you is, what is going on with quarterbacks? Why are we not what is the problem, and why are they not getting, why is the number 2 guy, is it better? Do you even want to take a quarterback at your number 1 spot anymore?
I mean, you can, and here's my thing: you can, but my thing is
Sure.
thrusting them into an offense and expecting them to know offensive lingo and the way an offensive system is going to work for them is not going to work, and that is the problem. That is the problem. Bryce Young, perfect example.
Yeah.
Perfect example. Caleb
Without
Williams,
a doubt.
perfect example. You
And
slowed it down.
to
Take
his
it,
point,
take what they did in Houston. They slowed it down the same way they did with Washington. They slowed it down for him. You can't expect these guys to go up against grown, put another one in swear jar, grown ass men,
for
where the
real.
game is 10 times faster. There is no way you could possibly say, yeah, man, he's great. He's gonna lead us to the promised land in his first year. You can't do that. You have to slow it down. And I hope everybody takes a little understanding on what Washington did to get where they got. And the flowers need to be given. I'm gonna tell you right now, the flowers need to be given. Because I'm gonna say a quote that Dan Quinn said: anytime,
yeah,
anywhere, any place. Okay.
love that.
And I love the fact that he told his guys in the post press conference. This is one thing I love. I was very hypothetical about the hiring of Dan Quinn, and the
Okay.
reason why is because he had a crappy. He was very crappy, and the way he was with Dallas. So I was like, man, I don't know how I feel about this. I really
Okay.
don't know. Are we getting Riverboat Ron 2.0? But then I turn around and I look, and shout out, there's no hatred towards Riverboat Ron. I mean, he's Puerto
Sure.
Rican. Look, man, look, he represented.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
represented.
Yeah.
But the thing that I think that set him apart was the fact that he told his guys, he goes, look, I want you guys to sit in this locker room, and I want you to take a minute. After the loss, he tells me, I told them to take a minute. Look at the guys you fought with all season. Remember this moment.
Yeah.
Because you may not be here next year, and if you are here, you'll remember it. If you're not, you'll be able to take this on and go on to another team and be able to exert the same energy you brought to this team to another team. And it just showed me that, man, it's a brotherhood there. The
For real.
camaraderie that they have there was it was posted, it was shown. You see it on the field, off the field, and I have to, honestly say I feel bad that I doubted Dan Quinn. I wasn't expecting Cliff Kingsbury to do what he did and slow it down, and then towards the middle and the end of the season, they started implementing more difficult plays and more of a dynamic offense where it looked pro, not no college, quote unquote, as they like to say the first 4 weeks,
Yeah.
which kind of made me mad because it's like you're still taking plays from college and implementing it into your professional style of football.
But however, and look, I'll say this, dude. Like, football is football. It doesn't matter. Let me tell you something. If the center blocks back, the play side guard and tackle double the play side defensive tackle. The backside guard pulls and kicks out the end. It don't matter who you're playing. It doesn't matter who's running the ball. That's a power play that's going to get you 4.5 yards. I would put any number of dollars on it. If that line does what they are supposed to do, center blocks back, double team the D tackle, 3 technique or 2 or 3 technique, and then the backside guard kicks out the 5, the defensive end. That's a crease that is going to get 4.5 yards. There's no way a linebacker is going to get there in time. That's 4.5 yards. You could be running. I could be running. My son could be running. That's 4.5 yards. Football is still football. And so, like, that's what kind of gets away with me a little bit is that you look at some of these young players and it shocks me because it's like, man, now I'll grant you that when you get to that level, you just said it, you're dealing with grown men with wives and kids and lives and the coaches their livelihood is depending on you, the 22-year-old, 23-year-old rookie who probably transferred 3 times now because you were scared to compete. But their livelihood depends on you. And especially walking in at quarterback and you got to command the huddle and you got to have the voice that's going to resonate with these grown men who also are looking at you.
And I'm glad you said that. I'm really glad you said that these rookie QBs come in and they got to look and they got to command the huddle.
Yep.
You trying to command the huddle with guys that's probably been in the league 7-8 years already.
Absolutely.
Give them a reason to listen to you. Give them a reason to respect you. And I think that's the thing that sets CJ Stroud apart. I think that's also what set Jaden apart. They gained the team's trust in this in rookie camps, the training camps. They looked at that and they was like, man, we got the respect. And I think that's what set apart the number ones, the Bryce Young and the Caleb Williams.
You know what actually kind of put me into thinking about it that way? Trent Williams, the left tackle for the San Francisco 49ers, had such good things to say about Brock Purdy going into his first start, and it was like a playoff game, if I'm not mistaken, or right before the playoffs. He said this kid came in and immediately told everybody in the huddle to shut up. And I think he said, shut the F up. Something like that. But he took control of the huddle. He took command of the huddle, gave the play crisp and clean and clear. And, now I'll give you with the Brock Purdy, for instance, is that he's got, and I guess if I go back and I look at these coaches, CJ Stroud had a good offensive coordinator, which his offensive coordinator just got fired. We're going to get into coaches here in a bit. But his offensive coordinator just got fired. But last year, like you said, they chopped that playbook down and they made it simple for CJ Stroud not to make a mistake. Cliff Kingsbury.
But you notice how you say, they chopped it down.
Mm-hmm.
But this year in his sophomore year.
Yep.
His sophomore year, they integrated more complex plays. Yeah. And I think that's what hurt CJ. I think CJ, to be honest with you, I think, and I have to say this, and I really hope Jaden does not get into this. Your first year as a quarterback, you lead your team into the playoffs, and then all of a sudden now you're going over there and you're doing plays and you're doing stuff with Micah Parsons and you're all over. It gets to your head. You're not prepared. You're not mentally preparing. You get some of these guys, as soon as the offseason hits, they're not worried about going on vacation. They may be taking a week vacation, and after that, this season's done. They
Right
were
back to
right
work.
back into it. All right, what do we need to
Back
do?
to
What do we need to
work.
work on? And I think that's what sets apart great players is they realize they need to make the sacrifice in order to do it. And
Yeah.
I'm not saying CJ Stroud's not going to be an elite player. I think he will be an elite QB in this
Yeah, he's
league.
on his
I
way.
think
He's on his
Jaden
way.
Daniels can be an elite QB in this league.
Sure.
Granted, it's his rookie year. I'm not going to put that much pressure on him, but you give him 5 years. Give him 5 years, and we can come back to this conversation. And I literally will say, if his work ethic is the same as what he entered in, coming into his 5th year, we're looking at an elite QB.
Yeah, I
It's
would
the
say so.
work ethic, the preparation. Preparation equals to success. And if you're not successful, if you're not preparing yourself, I'm pretty sure Jaden Daniels is like, all right, man, I'm gonna take a week, maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks, and I want to go back. I want to go back to the drawing board.
But you know what? Like you gotta, your veterans have got to be the ones that they've got to be the ones that explain that to you and make that live for you. Because let me reach into my Steelers bag for just a minute.
Oh man, we had a commercial break yet?
Nah, so but look, all right. So do you remember after Ben won the Super Bowl, right? This was I think 05-06. And then he was riding his motorcycle.
I was about to say that's the motorcycle incident.
And he has a wreck, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there were all these guys, including Hines Ward, James Ferrier. These guys, some of these guys aren't going to make the Hall of Fame. Now, Hines Ward is. And it was great to see him come out and say that. James Ferrier is probably not going to make the Hall of Fame.
No.
Just be real, right? But to see guys like that come out and call Ben out and say, hey, we need you. We can't afford for you to be doing no bull like that. So, you know what I mean? Like, that's your veterans have got to come in and say, hey, here's what I need you to do. And it can't even be coaches, crazy enough. Even though DeMeco Ryans is probably hitting CJ Stroud like boom, 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 boom. You know, it's got to be the Joe Mixons. It's got to be Steph Diggs. Those guys have got to be the ones that say, hey, yo, we got to get to it, right? Bobby Wagner's got to hit Jaden Daniels and say, hey, yo, we got to get right back in the lab, man. Come, March, we back on it, man. Ain't no 1, 2, 3 Cancun. We got to get to work. We can't afford. Right. We can't afford. Like, that's the way you gotta handle that, man.
And see, this is why, and I hate the fact that we're about to talk about it, but I guess it's a good segue into it.
Yep.
You take, and I still believe, I honestly believe this may be Travis Kelce's last year, but I will say this.
I retired.
He even said it. He was tired.
Yeah.
In the offseason, he was tired. He was doing he didn't get a chance to really physically prepare for the season.
Yeah, you're right.
He didn't have that. I don't care what anybody says. He didn't have that great of a season this year.
It was a terrible season. He had it. Look, I had him in a couple fantasy leagues. It was a terrible season. He had a terrible season.
Mean, I don't know, man. Like, but you look at the preparation that these guys are putting in. You look at the preparation the Eagles, the Eagles, put in. You look at the preparation. You look at the leaders coming to Nick Sirianni and telling him, "Hey, look, man, we need to run the ball. We need to go back to ourselves. Leadership,
without a doubt.
Leadership.
Without a doubt.
You didn't bring Saquon Barkley in there to just throw the ball, 36, 37 times. And I'm sorry for A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith crying like little girls. I didn't get the ball. I didn't get this. Look, you're in the Super Bowl.
It seemed to work out for somebody.
Exactly. And I don't care.
It seemed to work out for somebody.
The future MVP, because honestly, if he doesn't get MVP, this league is rigged.
Are you talking about
Saquon Barkley should be the MVP of the league.
Without question.
Hands down.
So you know what? I had in my fantasy group, shout out to my guys in my fantasy group, man. Like I got a big money fantasy group that I wasn't in it this year because I'm saving for this, but we talked about that. And so that was the question. So the argument all year was Lamar or Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson. And I said, Saquon Barkley, he's about to break the rushing record, which, to be honest with you, God bless that man. Cause I would have, ain't no way you would have sat me out. Ain't no way, unless he had an 80-yard touchdown to start and he got that 25 yards and 6 more carries, and then you can sit me down, I guarantee you, ain't no way you're going to put my name in them history books. Because the difference is, so shout out to, which is crazy that Ashton Junty didn't break that record. And we're gonna take a quick break, and then we're gonna hop back onto actual topics. But so Ashton Junty didn't break that record. It's crazy how that happened. But like, I felt like, and I think we talked about this on the pod, right? So with the Heisman, with Travis Hunter getting the Heisman, because of what he did, what Hunter did was not going to be duplicated. And if you don't put him in the record book somehow, because he didn't do anything that was going to put him in the record books, right? Hunter didn't, right? Jonty should have been going in the record book. I don't understand how he didn't, but he should have been going in the record book. Same concept. Now we switch over to the pros, and Saquon, it was unfair for him to sit. I understand why they sat him, and it seemed to work out as far as going to the Super Bowl and all that. But if you ask me, because they're not going to give him the MVP. That's a quarterback's award. I don't like it, but it's a quarterback's award, right? So the least you could do is let him break that record so we can memorialize his season, right? Let him break that record so we can memorialize his season. I hate that they didn't play him, because now we're going to see him. We'll see his name when, Jonty and Scatterbo and all these running backs finally get to where they have, they're about to crack this 2,000 yard and they might come close to the record and all of that. Then we'll see Saquon's year again. But that's a disjustice to that man, because he finally got a decent offensive line, which furthermore, there'll be another time. I want to discuss some of the all-time worst free agent moves. I love off-season.
I will tell you this. So Derrick Henry, I don't know if you remember this. It was the second to last, I think it was week 16. They had an article. He was in an interview and he was talking, and he said some of the running backs all came together and had a meeting about how they were going to have the people put some respect on what age, and this is in a third, on what age should you be giving these amount of contracts and things like that. And you look at it, look what Derrick Henry did.
Yeah. Look
what Saquon did. He left a crappy team to go to a team that actually valued him and wanted to run the ball.
And I'm gonna tell you, and we're gonna get into this in a little bit, but I feel like they might be able to. Their defense is good enough to slow down the Chiefs, and their offense is dumb. Now I get it. The Chiefs are good against they're not good against the run. So this could be scary, all because of Saquon. Yes, they had DeAndre, Swift, and is that his name? Swift. And then before that, they had Miles Sanders, and they made it to the Super Bowl with them before. But when you got a legitimate threat in your backfield behind your quarterback, it changes everything you do, man. So I'm super, super stoked about that. I'll tell you something else I'm super stoked about, bro.
What's that, man?
the greatest salsa.
Look, it has been 2 weeks since I've gone on here, man, and told someone they need to be a happy, angry customer.
Yeah.
Well, get ready to have your taste buds ignited by Angry Salsa. This isn't your ordinary salsa. It's packed with fiery flavor that will keep you on the edge of your seat. Whether you were cheering for your team or just snacking while watching the game, Angry Salsa will add a spicy kick to your game day experience. Grab a jar of Angry Salsa. Holla at me. Talk to me. Come, get in my DMs. Hit me up. Let me know what you need. And let me take your taste buds on an exhilarating ride. All right. Angry Salsa, fueling the fire flavor. Become a happy, angry customer today by contacting me, your very own Angry Puerto Rican.
Yeah, man. And listen, I'm gonna tell you something, dude. Like, and just so everybody knows, going into break, and we'll talk about it a little more when we get back. February the 11th and 12th, one of those days, we're going to get details down, but live episode coming, live Fanatic Sports Podcast episode coming back to Northwest Arkansas.
I love it.
3 short weeks. 3 short
Hey,
weeks.
you know what's crazy? You know what's crazy? We get to try some of this live.
We're serving salsa to start. That's the thing. Look, come by. We'll have a few. We're gonna have a few vendors with us for this event. But salsa, chips, little party, little drinking, little fun. We're gonna have blast. We're gonna have a blast. So look, thank you to everybody checking us out on the Fanatic Sports Podcast. Can't say thank you enough to everybody. We're gonna take a quick break. So don't run off too far. And we'll be right back to talk Super Bowl and NFL. More after this on the Fanatic Sports Podcast. What up, everybody? What is that feedback? That's loud. What am I hearing? Testing. Okay, great. We're back. We're back without the weird stuff. We're back without the weird stuff. Sorry.
I was over here thinking, man, maybe my salsa, thinking about that was, too much, man. I don't know. I'm excited. Technology was like, nope. We need to try some of that too.
Oh, the joys of technology. Speaking of, so if you have technology comes with trouble. And if you have trouble, then the best thing for you to do is to hit up our people at Arkansas Premier Paralegal, okay? They're independent contractors. They're located in Northwest Arkansas, so they definitely going to come fool with us when in a few weeks when we get ready for our live broadcast. But they specialize in divorce, expungement, unlawful detaining, and criminal defense. Right, the best in the business. They provide negotiable pricing for both private attorneys and the general public. So, with over 10 years of experience, they're capable of assisting with your legal needs in professional and courteous ways. So you can give them a call, 479-684-6248, or you can search them on Facebook, Arkansas Premier Paralegal on Facebook. You can get more information there. That's Arkansas Premier Paralegal. Then the people you need to see if you get in trouble. Matter of fact, while I'm there, to be frank, I'm definitely going to be making sure that I'm not in any legal trouble while I'm there. So I definitely, again, they will be with us when it's time for our live broadcast. So look, speaking of, I fly out on the 9th. We were talking about it off air. Pretty excited about, the Super Bowl is in New Orleans this year. So very, very cool. And I gotta tell you, so as much as I'm homesick, this place is a pretty cool place. I will admit it. Good eating, good music, good people. And they have really cool events.
Unless your name is Zion Williamson and you missing flights because you're eating Cajun too much. But we won't get on that.
I was just talking with my maintenance guy. Shout out my man DC. I'm gonna send him this. So he said, dude, the worst thing you could have done for a guy like Zion, who's already he's explosive, but he's also big bone, big girthy guy, right? And so the worst thing you could have done for him was send him to a place like New Orleans with etouffee and boudin and gumbo and jambalaya. Listen, this was this was the worst idea ever to bring somebody like him to this place. Not that, he's a great athlete, right? And so you look at, LeBron would be a perfect example. Ben Simmons in his prime would be a great example as well. There's a lot of really good, Shaq is another one, really good athletic, big, heavy guys, but can move and are explosive with that weight. So it's great. It's great to have that. It's great to have that explosion, but you got to take care of it.
You talking about this Super Bowl, man, and I have as I said earlier, man, it is a unique topic because the road that Philadelphia took to get there is completely different than the road that the Chiefs took.
Yeah, well.
Right. And I want to get onto something that I know we on the Super Bowl preview, and I really don't care who wins. I'm gonna tell you right now, don't care because I don't think, a lot of these people in Kansas City, man, we want this Chief Pete, as Jim Nantz said on it, which made me almost throw up in my mouth when he said this. He was like, "Oh, it's gonna be a Chief Pete." Oh man, and the Chiefs are going back to the Super Bowl. We might call it a 3 Chief. And I'm just like, I kept, every time he kept saying it, I was just like, man, dude, I just kept doing that.
Man. I don't know.
Just think about it. The road that these guys took are completely different.
Yeah, without a doubt.
And that's the journey. And we always talk about the journey and walking different paths. There's a different path for the Chiefs. And I think finally, people are starting to comment a lot more. The refs need to be handled and dealt with.
I've got an interesting opinion on that.
I'm glad you do. Yeah. Because I believe the Chiefs got there. Now, I understand you can't, against the Texans, you can't give up 8 sacks and expect to win the game. But a couple of those plays cost the Texans their drive. Look at if you take the season and you take the Chiefs and what the refs did to help them, and I'm going to say help, and I'm standing by this.
They can't find you.
I'm going to say find you. If you take it, they have a mediocre season. They had
I
a mediocre
wonder.
season. We're not talking about the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. We're talking about the Bills maybe going to the Super Bowl. We may be talking about the Ravens.
I wonder what it would have meant to have if we see and look. So I'll say this because the Chiefs were, I talked about it earlier in the season when we talked about the Ravens almost beating them. Shout out to me, I said Ravens on air and not what I prefer to call them.
Proud of you.
So
You're learning.
So unbiased sports talk here at the Fanatic Sports Podcast.
This is a first in history.
I almost got through it. I almost said it with a straight face. Unbiased sports talk here at the Fanatic Sports Podcast.
Folks, we just broke history today.
Oh God. Okay. So look, we talked about it. And I made a reel that got 1,500 views talking about Isaiah Likely not getting his toe down. And that's on Isaiah Likely. Is that fortunate for the Chiefs? Absolutely. But is it the Chiefs' fault that Isaiah Likely didn't get his toes in?
No. That's not his fault. That
all right,
game, honestly.
All right, so I'm gonna
look at it. That game, they lost that game. They lost that game even before that because they should never been in that position to begin with.
Then I made a reel. Shout out to my man Freezy, Justin Frazier. I made a reel talking about the black magic of the Chiefs and the black magic of the Steelers, and you talk about two teams that have just eked by, right, and including the Chiefs, and they've had probably, and at that point when I made that reel, there were probably 6 or 8 different very questionable calls that benefited the Chiefs, right?
Right.
So here's my point, and I won't beleaguer it. What I believe that is yes, the Chiefs are getting some very beneficial calls. Was that offense this year as potent as we've seen Patrick Mahomes be? Absolutely not, without question. But at the end of the day, and Joe Mixon said this. Joe Mixon said we can't leave it in a close situation. That's what the Bills did. The Bills went in the regular season. The score was 30-21. I looked it up the other day because I was trying to remember how far apart that got. But the score was 30-21. But the Bills were dominant. They did not make it. I don't recall any questionable referee calls, missed calls, extra calls, all of this stuff, because the Bills had the Chiefs on their back foot the entire game. Like, and again, I think last minute, the last quarter and a half, Mahomes tried to put on a little bit of Mahomes magic and made some plays and scored some touchdowns and made it 21. But I believe, if I remember correctly, watching that game and looking at the play-by-play and so forth, the Bills dominated that all the way throughout, and the score didn't quite tell you exactly that. And I don't recall hearing all this extra stuff. But now that the Bills have lost because they couldn't stay in front of which, by the way, you can't give Andy Reid 2 chances at you in one season. But that's why he wins the division every year. You can't give him 2 chances at you in one season. Let's be real. And they had their full complement of receivers. They had their full complement of running backs. This is a dangerous team when they're fully healthy. So I'm not arguing for the Chiefs. I'm telling you that I believe that we're being a little too nitpicky with these referees. They're human beings. They make mistakes. That hit, that helmet to helmet that Aziz, what's his name, got, which, by the way, let's not pretend like he didn't just do this same thing 5-6 weeks ago to Trevor Lawrence, right? So, but from the angle I looked at, yes, he hit that man in his face mask with his helmet down, and it was late. The ball was gone. If it's anything like high school and college, which, matter of fact, when I coached for the Battle and played for the Battle, shout out to NWA Battle and Arkansas Warcats and that group, man, when we had pro rules and our referees as an offensive lineman, I knew I'm blocking, and you'd hear the quarterback go, "Hey," or the referee would say, "Hey, ball's gone. Let's go. Ball's gone." I'm pretty sure they do that same thing. If you're not listening, that's on you. And again, I'm not going to.
But here's my thing.
Okay.
It ain't just me saying this. You got
No,
actual,
it's a lot of people.
You got actual announcers, commentators calling out.
I'll give you this. So shout out to one of our most loyal fans. Shout out my homegirl Sarah, OT_nurse. I think she might be on. She might be on. Well, she was on Instagram, and if she is, she's probably saying lots and lots of cuss words about it because I'm talking nice about the Chiefs, and she's a Raiders fan. We're gonna get to you, okay? But she sent me this thing, and Troy Aikman was well within his rights. Just come on, guys, like. What and they're missing some crazy stuff. So every time I say what I just said, which is as a player, you got to be mindful of what's going on. And just like Joe Mixon said, you got to be mindful of what's happening especially when you play in KC. But once you play against Kansas City, it doesn't matter whether you're in KC or you're at home. And look, I'm a Steelers fan. We saw firsthand some of that BS that they were getting, man. There was a lot of bad things that were happening that we could not control. But the problem is when you have 2 turnovers, right? And that's what does it. With a good offensive scheme like what Andy Reid has, you can't afford to turn the ball over. You got to play mistake free, and that's hard to do.
Take it like this. So you remember, I'm gonna give you 2 plays in both games, not just the Chiefs game, but I'm talking about in the Washington game. Okay. In the Washington game, you got Frankie Louvu trying to jump over, and they're literally calling offsides encroachment. They're calling it because on the 3rd time it was because he jumped twice, and on the 3rd time, dude was our nose tackle. I can't remember his name. Because my mind is moving right now.
Yeah.
It's a neutral zone infraction.
Yep.
That's what they got.
There was quite a few of those.
Now, check this out. Josh Allen goes forward on 4th down. They don't call the neutral zone infraction when their nose tackle was literally hovering over the ball. His body's like his literal body is
over the ball. Yeah. Yeah.
And you're like, why are they not calling that? But he misses the 4th down. That was a crucial 4th down goal, like 4th down play.
There was 100 angles. They showed like 10 angles. I just saw it on Instagram. I think I shared it on our Instagram, on our sports Instagram. But they showed 10 or 12 different angles where they missed it, and it looked like he should have clearly gotten it, and all this stuff, man. I'm
not gonna lie. Look, you can't go against, and I'm not gonna knock Patrick Mahomes. I'm not gonna knock the Chiefs and all of that. I'm not knocking them. I'm knocking the way the refs should be calling these games.
Yeah.
So consistent. It's like basketball. If you want to come down here and I'm getting a charge on something that I shouldn't be getting a charge on, but down here it's a blocking foul. But I just got the charge. It's the same play.
Call it on both sides of the court. I agree.
Exactly.
And to that point, I'm with you 109%. From it doesn't matter if it's the Chiefs, the Steelers, the Redskins, the Commanders, the Giants, the Little Giants. It doesn't matter. Call it on both ends of the field the same way. Don't vary. And that's the thing that I'm saying. But if you want to talk about the Super Bowl preview, I'm gonna keep it real. I think it is going to be a very, very interesting game. They're playing in a dome, so there's no wind. Yep.
There's no wind. There's no weather issues. No nothing. It's straight, beautiful inside. That it's going to be inside. Yep. What I love the fact about this is I want to see how quick Philadelphia's D-line with Jalen Carter and friends gets off that line and attacks that O-line and gets to Patrick Mahomes. if they have more than 5 sacks in this game, the Eagles win this game.
Without question. Without question. And you know what's really crazy about that? So, the last time that the Chiefs lost a Super Bowl, I don't know if you remember this. They were playing.
That was against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers,
That
and
is
they
correct.
had Patrick Mahomes running for his life, and I think he ran more yards going sideline to sideline than the entire running back for both teams going towards the end zone.
Absolutely. And listen, if anybody can bring pressure with 4, the Eagles are the defense to do that, bro. Without question. I would put a lot on that. Might bet on, to be honest with you, might bet on, I won't say the app that I'm gonna bet on because they're not paying me. So, but I would definitely say that would be that's going to be a thing. And then they got great coverage on the back end. Them young kids for the Eagles, Quinion and Cooper DeJean, them boys can ball, man. Slay is going to be able to retire, and that defense is still going to run because they got some ballers back there. This is a complete team, and then offensively, and then this was my point. And so I'm going to ask for your prediction here in a bit, but I'll go ahead and start with mine. And I think I have to go Eagles. Shout out to my homegirl Jamila. I gotta go Eagles, and I'm going to say 34-31. Eagles over the Chiefs.
Wow.
I think it's going to be
34-31.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of which, Tom Brady said something, and I rarely agree with anything this man says. I can't think of anything he said that I agree with until Sunday. He said it's rare that you see an explosive offense or what's determined as a dynamic and explosive offense, and it's a rushing offense. It's been a long time since we've had that in the pros where your rushing attack is what leads your explosive offense. Normally, when they talk about dynamic and explosive offense, they talk about like the Rams, the greatest show on turf, and their ability to beat people over the top. They would go 4 wide. They had such great wide receivers. Mahomes and company for the last 5-7 years has had a really explosive offense with the ability to score with great ease because they got so many different options that he can attack you with from a receiving standpoint. It's been a long time since we've seen a rushing attack be the lead foot in your explosive offense, and the Eagles have that with they got a great runner, they got a great in Jalen Hurts, and then they got Saquon behind them. They got that terrific offensive line, and then and just when you think you've got it all figured out, because this is what the Steelers defense did to them was they tried to load the box up, and we made Saquon have a bad day, which was outstanding. Problem was we left 2 or 3 really good receiving targets wide open one-on-one, and they cooked us. I think he threw for 350 against us.
Oh yeah, three. It was that, and both Devontae and AJ had over 100 yards receiving.
Balled on us, and I don't think that. I mean, it was. Their offense is really, really good, bro. So
no, and you're right. Their offense is really good. If their offense comes in, with a good flow, and they play, the way they need to play, I can see I can see it happening. But God, I really hate that I have to be unbiased to this. This hurts my heart, man. Like, trying to even get the words to formulate in my head right now just hurts.
You can say it, dude. You can say it. You got it. Go ahead.
Okay, Jim Nance, you might be onto something. They might make a shirt after this.
Chief Pete.
I think it's gonna be a Chief Pete, sir.
Shout out to my homegirl Jen. So listen, man, I'm gonna tell you something, bro. I've had some of the best fun I've ever had up in KC. We went and had some Kansas City Joes. We went and hung out at the ballpark. The stadium's right next to the baseball park, the Kauffman Stadium. Go Royals, be Royal, raise Royal. So man, had a blast up there. But that place is gonna go bananas if they win a third in a row, dude. That's gonna be crazy. So, but before we
I
all
have
right.
to give you my prediction. Let me
Yeah,
go
yeah.
ahead and
Give me your date. Give me your score. I want to see how
I
close
think
you get.
it's gonna be under 30. It's gonna be in the mid 20s.
Really now?
I think, but I will say this: if Chris Jones plays
He's
like a
gonna do.
madman,
Well, that he can turn it. He can tear up a game.
they
He can.
gotta get. And the thing is, they know Andy Reid's not gonna stack that box. They're gonna
Can't.
come at they're gonna come at Jalen with different types of blitzes, and we're gonna see what kind of blitz packages they use. I'm telling you this right now. I
Yeah.
see it being
Now,
something along the lines of like 22, 23 to like 27.
so Spags will definitely, he's a blitzer, man. I love what his defense does because that's what drew me to Blitzburg back in the day was their ability to create pressure from everywhere. It felt like all different types of angles
Well,
they would
if
come at
you
the
look at
quarterback.
what he did on
Spags
that
does that.
last play,
Yeah,
if you think about what he did on that last play, you're thinking he's sending all of them, and he turns around and brings them back, and then shoots that cornerback on a
yeah,
cornerback blitz, and that
yeah,
guy legitimately
yeah,
is untouched.
yeah.
Josh has
Listen,
to throw
as
that ball.
as an
Here's the
offensive
thing, though.
tackle,
We would be having a different kind of conversation if Kincaid makes that catch.
yep, we sure do, but I can tell you, as an offensive tackle, bro, on both sides of the ball, both sides, right or left tackle, doesn't matter. I can even, and I was an observer at tackle, so I was calling everything out, and I see him. You're not gonna kick back fast enough to get a hold of him. Like I could
No.
barely get my hand on. And if you ain't got your eyes up, or you're worried about a Chris Jones or a Drew Tranquil coming at you, there's no way you're picking this guy up on time. There's no way you're getting to this guy, and it's just your quarterback better get it out of his hands. That's it. And and
But
you're
I
not
think the
wrong.
thing
That's
that
definitely
I think the thing that really made me understand something about the Chiefs defense in that game was they was able to contain Josh Allen from running the ball.
yep.
And
And
I
that's what
think
you got
that
to
sets
do.
it apart. And guess what? Now we're gonna have to see what they do against the offense of the Eagles.
Because
Are
now
you going to
you
you can't
got
stack
two
the box. Yeah, you
legitimate
can't
runners.
stack the box, but now we're gonna see how good Jalen Hurts really is under pressure
Yep.
with
Yep.
four guys in his face.
And you definitely gonna get 4, maybe 5 in his face without question.
Well, I noticed that a lot of teams are now starting to do this again. You notice, back in the day, they didn't have a lot of spies back in the day. Nobody was playing spy. It was like, all right, cool, you go ahead and get your yards. Now when Lamar comes out, you have a spy. And that
Well,
still doesn't stop him.
it's so dangerous these days. And the other thing you should probably know is that with those you didn't have as many spies because you didn't have as many more mobile quarterbacks. These days, it's almost required. It's almost required that you have a mobile quarterback. If your quarterback can't run, that option has changed everything, bro. Shout out to RG3, man. I follow him on Twitter and Instagram, and I love talking to him and looking at a lot of his perspective. It's a very good one. But he kind of revolutionized the game for real because there were a lot of guys that ran the ball like Randall Cunningham and Michael Vick, but a lot of that was them just running like bootlegs and scrambling. Donovan McNabb, I should put in there as well. I want to say RG3 was the first guy where they came in and legitimately, constantly ran that option, that read option where he would pull it and go around in and go crazy off of that, man. He had a spectacular season, but even
It's
at that,
just great, man. I love the fact that we're about to be in the Super Bowl, but I hate the fact that it's almost over.
yeah. Well, we're gonna get to the next thing that I wasn't excited for basketball, but but now with the game we're about to play in a couple segments, I actually am excited about it. But before we get to that segment, I do want to talk a little bit about, because you talk about the coaches, right? And that's something that while we're talking about the best 2 teams that are in the league right now, we gotta jump to basically the worst 5. So most of these guys will be picking early in the draft in April. These teams, and they've got new coaches to start with. And so I'm going to jump right into our first coach that we are going to
I
see.
love it.
You like that?
I do.
Okay. So all right, let me start with this. And I want to say shout out to the boys from Run Your Mouth. They talked about this as well. And I thought about it immediately. Gerard Mayo got the raw end of the stick on this one. So great hire for the Patriots and Mike Vrabel. And I will say this too. I'm very happy because if Miami turns it around like I think they're gonna do and win 10 games next year, and the Bills are gonna be competitive, and then you bring the Patriots back into the fold in the AFC
Wait,
East.
whoa. I know I'm not tripping. Did you really just say the Miami Dolphins would win 10 games possibly?
If they can keep Tua standing up, then yeah. Offensively, they're really
Tyreek don't want to play.
It don't matter. Tyreek ain't that important. You know how many fast receivers there are in the NFL, and how many more are about to walk into the NFL in April, bro. There's Tyreek can go. First of all, Tyreek is 30, so we should start there. I'm
just saying this because I want him to come to Washington, but leave me alone, all right?
Even if he did, and that would be good for y'all. But at the end of the day, which by the way, let me just say this, addressing that. Don't wait on no free agents receiver, because I promise you, as a person that's a fan of a team that's already, we've been waiting 2 years for that big name free agent to come in the free agency, and then we traded for one and still didn't use him. I promise you, get somebody that you can raise and make your own. That way, you got 5 years with them.
I know I'm jumping the gun on this, and I'm not going to jump too quickly ahead.
Yeah.
But you notice how you said, don't be, don't be that guy that waits on a free agent.
I'm telling you what I
know. How long I was waiting for the Knicks to pick up free agency?
Well,
where guys wanted to come to the Knicks and play. Now you got guys that want to come.
Well,
Washington, we made it fun this year.
Listen,
people want to come to Washington now.
And here's the deal. And it's right on cue because we're talking about coaches, right? This is Dan Quinn's first year, right? So, and now I'll tell you, I was pretty excited for the Commanders because I think Dan Quinn is a great coach. Let's not forget that he did take the Falcons to the Super Bowl. Now I don't
lose 28. They were up 28-14.
28-3, and all they had to do was run the ball on 3rd and 4, and they chose not to for whatever reason. That's none of my business. All I know
I'm not getting into that, man, because I don't want none of that madness on me. But I ain't getting into it. I'm just gonna say it was a really horrible time for me watching that game because I lost a lot of money.
So I would say,
as far as I'm going.
And they lost that Super Bowl to these New England Patriots, who I think are going to be a good team again.
And I think who's going to benefit a lot from this, honestly,
Drake, man.
Which I don't know how he got named to. Did he get named to a Pro Bowl?
Pro Bowl.
How did he get named to a Pro Bowl? I don't know.
What I'm not sure what that.
How Drake man got named to a Pro Bowl.
But look, if you want to go to the Pro Bowl, man, it's cheap flights to Orlando to go if you want to go.
I mean, no, I'm good.
No.
I'm good. I just want to say this. I think the person that's going to benefit really, really, really well from this, the two people that's going to benefit from this hiring.
Yeah.
Antonio Gibson.
Yep.
And Ramondre Stevenson.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to benefit very well in that in his, because he's a running style coach.
That old school knows,
run the ball
hard
and
nose.
set it up he wants to set it up for guys to be open on the outside, and I think that's what's going to happen. Because you look at the seasons they had before they got rid of AJ Brown, and AJ left and went to the Eagles, which is probably one of the craziest trades I've ever seen in my life. But
I'm glad you said it. Let me write that down too. Let me write that. Right, the all-season moves that were just terrible in hindsight. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I just look at that and I just say, man, you know what? They're going to be able to. What they're missing a few, because what was that guy that plays? Oh my God, I can't remember his name. He got injured, man. He got injured and was out for the season.
Okay.
He always wears the red shirt under his pads. The middle linebacker for the Patriots.
Yeah, it's Judon.
Yeah,
Yeah, he went to
get him
Atlanta.
back
So,
healthy. Get him back healthy. Get
so
him back healthy, and you get an actual receiver on that side,
you
an
got
actual
something.
guy that can actually get out there and go and catch the ball, and then you have a couple, two or three receivers that are have a great route runners. You might
Yeah.
look at the Patriots as that might be going back to the playoffs. I
I
hate to
think,
I,
and
I,
I
I hate to
think that
say
would be, I think that would be quickly. So, all right, how about this one?
it.
And for those who haven't been following, America's team just got a head coach that nobody in America knows. Brian Schottenheimer will be the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys.
Yes, sir.
Listen, I don't know anything about him. I don't think
Yes,
the
sir.
only thing all I know is that his father was a semi good coach.
Yes, sir.
But when it comes to, but you know what this is, right? This is that ploy. Jerry doesn't, I guarantee you, because they talked about Dion and he had interest in coming. You know what Dion wanted, right?
He
You know
want a
what
show.
Dion he wanted control of the team. He wanted autonomy, and you're not going to get that. Brian Schottenheimer is just happy to have a job, so he's
Brian
not asking.
Schottenheimer is going to be like this. He's going to say, Jerry's going to be like, hey, I don't want him starting at QB. Yes, sir. You want me to, you want me to go ahead and put Dak out? Well, Dak's on the injured reserve list. Let me see if I can call the NFL and see if I can get him on there. All right, he's good to go. Well, he's got two broken ribs. Put him in.
It's
Yes,
fine.
sir.
It's fine. It's fine.
Everything's gonna be yes, sir.
There's no way this works. There's no possibility that this works well. And you can mark me on this one.
Jerry Jones is gonna be the Mario Lemieux. He's gonna be the Mario Lemieux of the NFL. And I don't mean he's gonna get down there and play. He's not gonna get down on the field and play. I'm gonna just say that he's not getting down on the field and play. He will be he will be the owner and the GM, and he'll be the whole team. Guys, I need you to run 23 Blast, which is a great movie, by the way. 23 Blast. 23 Blast. That's all we're running. By the way, we're gonna go ahead and re-sign Ezekiel. Is that okay? Yes, sir. All right.
Great. Sounds great. All right, so look, man, I'm not gonna beat up on them too
at all. I honestly don't. I can see Michael Parsons. Honestly, I see him leaving. I see Michael Parsons. You're ruining talent. I'm sorry, you're ruining talent.
I love this. I love this because you know how quiet it's gonna be in Southwest America for a little while.
No, because every year it's their year. At some point, you want to hear some Cowboys fan, Byron.
We'll get his take. We'll get his take on this soon. So all right,
man. I don't like it. I really don't. I think this right here, I think this right here is going to be the worst one of the worst coaching pickups in decades.
So from the guy the Cowboys got to the guy that the Cowboys thought they were going to get. So ironically, I'm getting mixed reviews on Ben Johnson. So let me say this before you give your take on it. This man was in Detroit for 3 years as the OC, and I think another 3 years before he was the OC. This guy, during his time as the play caller in Detroit, averaged 30 points a game. Right? He was offensively part of the reason. Now, I will tell you this also. In Detroit, they went out and slowly took their time and built one of the best offensive lines. And I believe I will say this. You can put this on Opus Clips, and I'll eat my crow sandwich if I got to. This Detroit offensive line is going to go down as one of the best offensive lines in National Football League history before it's all said and done, before they break up. And this man was part of the architect that made this happen. And he turned that into a 30-point per game. When's the last time the Lions been good? Even when they were good, they were terrible. Even when shout out AQ, hey, love you, bro. No. What they've done these last 3 years is spectacular.
You're right. And you may have mixed reviews on this. I don't. I think this is a great pickup. I think
Yeah,
it's a
of course.
great coaching pickup. I shared it in our group chat. I
Yeah.
told you I loved his message.
Mm-hmm.
I loved his message. It was not just not because Aaron Glenn just followed. Now, look, I'm just gonna tell you this right now. Aaron Glenn. When we get to that, I
Oh,
got something to say
back
about
in.
this Aaron Glenn crap in New York that's going on in the swamp. I got some
Lord.
crap to talk about that. But Ben literally left a message out there and was like, "Yo, your job is not guaranteed.
Love that.
Your
Love
job is
that.
not guaranteed. I don't care if you're making millions. You think you a starter, you're gonna earn your spot."
Love that.
And
Love
I
that.
think the message was clear, and I think that's what's going to set him apart. And I can see the Chicago Bears coming back to prominence. I don't see them. Maybe we'll see what they do in the draft. We'll see what they do in the draft. All right, and we'll see what they do in free agency. But you got a great quarterback over there who can be great if you make it simple.
Yeah, yeah. But
Simplify it.
look, but that's the thing, bro. I gotta say it, man. Like what he's done has been nothing short of amazing. Not gonna lie to you. I mean, look, we were calling Jared Goff was a bust his rookie year, and then he came back when they traded him to Detroit. We said, well, that was the end of his career because we haven't seen. We know it's not going to be good in Detroit. And Ben Johnson made this guy a reliable, and they even talked about Goff as a MVP candidate, right? Right? Like if I remember correctly, I'm not missing this, am
Uh,
I?
no,
Like
you're not. But I mean, you can't throw 5 interceptions in a game and expect to be in the MVP category. You
listen.
can't even be in an MVP conversation. You threw Goff is one of those guys where you're just like, okay, and I'm pretty sure Sean Payton's probably like not Sean Payton.
Dan Campbell.
No, what? No.
Oh,
Rams coach.
Sean McVay.
Yeah, Sean McVay. I don't know why I said Sean Payton. Sean McVay is probably like, I'm so glad I got Matthew Stafford.
Well,
Oh,
yeah, because he won a ring. I'd be glad I got Matthew Stafford too. They definitely didn't lose.
but that goes back to quarterback and systems. You try when have you ever seen a quarterback for quarterback trade? When was the last time you've seen that?
I can't think of a time, honestly.
Quarterback for
I
quarterback
can't even
trade.
think.
We're trading Jared Goff to the Detroit Lions, and we're gonna go ahead and pick up Matthew Stafford.
But you know what? Like the crazy thing about that is they did so they got a bunch of draft picks to go with that as well. So it wasn't just, I mean, like it wasn't a straight quarterback. But having said that, like you said, you don't normally trade starter for starter. And Sean McVay made Jared Goff look really good. He did look like he was an MVP candidate again. And so Ben Johnson, I think, is going to come in. So I'll say that I think he's going to come in, and I think he's going to make he's going to simplify things and make it easy for Caleb Williams to be that guy. I don't know if they're going to score 30 points a game. They got a lot of work to do defensively. But I believe that he's putting together a good team, and they're going to be a good team. I just don't know how. That division is full of killers. That as the old heads say, that neighborhood is dangerous. Because look, I don't know if Sam Darnold's coming back to Minnesota, but I think JJ McCarthy could do the same thing that Sam Darnold did.
But my thing is, how long are you going to keep you? I don't know. Like you talking about, I love O'Donnell. I really do.
Yeah,
I think what he did. He's a quarterback in general. Well, so
yeah,
he made it a lot easier for Sam Darnold. Now, did that game that he played, uh, did that hurt his stock and
yeah.
maybe getting some more money in his pocket? Probably so.
Eh, I don't
Uh,
know. I think just depends on.
he's gonna revert back to a backup.
I think that was going to always be the case, anyways. I don't think he was going to resign because they went out and drafted JJ McCarthy and name a quarterback, name a situation, a quarterback room right now where even though he had a great season like he did, Name a quarterback room where you want him to be a starter. Still, like that was never going to be the case.
I mean, I can name a quarterback room, but I just don't feel like talking about him.
That's fine. We don't have to.
Yeah, exactly. You know exactly what I'm talking
about. If it's who I think you're talking about, I don't think they want him either. I think they want their own guy, and I think that's the situation with everybody right now. Is we want our guy that we drafted and that we can live with, and we don't have to pay him big money, and we can keep him for 4 or 5 years. I think that's the case with everybody.
I'll give you that.
So
hey, who's the next? Who's next up? Who's next up?
Oh shoot, I don't have it on. I'm not in the right place. Okay, there we go. So this is a fun one.
This is funny. This is funny.
So I'll be honest and tell you that I don't know a lot about Liam Cohen, but what I do know
is how the madness started.
You know who I do know a lot about? Baker Mayfield. And Baker Mayfield was he was in the same boat as Sam Darnold. He was overrated, a bust, all those names until he got to Tampa Bay and fought for his life. And so in fighting with him, you know who his coach was during that time? Liam Cohen, the offensive coordinator for the Bucs, right? So what I have to believe is that this coach knows what he's doing when it comes to playing with or to coaching quarterbacks, right? So if
I'll give you that.
So if we're gonna see, because he turned those guys back into, he turned Baker Mayfield because he came in 24, in 25. So did he spend 1 year with him? But I mean, he turned Baker. They won the division, which I'll grant you was not a very good division, but they won that division 2 years in a row, and they also, and he made Baker Mayfield a relevant quarterback in his time there. So,
excuse me, he did what I like, and I told you this before. You go through stupid things in life, and sometimes you gotta have growth in order to succeed. And that is what Baker Mayfield did, is he turned it around and realized I needed to mature.
Yep. You're absolutely right about that.
Look what Baker did in the, he's been in the league 6 years now? 7?
Yeah. It's been
what, he played 3 in Cleveland?
Yeah, it's been about, I think, 7 or 8 years. Let me look that up. But yeah, you gotta mature. That's part of the situation that I think needs to be.
But I don't see an issue here. Here's my thing. I don't see an issue with Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
I think this is a bolster. This is going to be a bolster of a QB, because I think Trevor Lawrence can do 10 times more than what Baker can do. No offensive line.
Yeah, physically, yeah.
No offensive line. I don't know who your running back is. It sure ain't ETN.
Well, so you're looking at but look, they got Tank Bigsby down there. They've got some guys that know how to run the ball if you give them the right.
Who I like a lot is Brian Thompson Jr.
They've got Brian
Thomas Jr. I like him a lot.
Well, they've got wide receivers. I think, look. So I'll tell you this: when you start talking about the offensive line, I gotta talk about the scheme. I believe the scheme has a lot to do. I believe the scheme has a lot to do with what your offensive line looks like. It's not going to be the same. It's not going. If you got a good offensive line that can fight through and that you can scheme around, you can make that offensive line look good. Now, obviously, having a Tristan Wirth makes your offensive line much better, right? And you can draft those guys and create those and help those guys develop. And you may not have to even use a top 10 pick for them, but it's cool if you get to. But from an offensive line standpoint, I'm sure they can, because they got their guy. They've already paid Trevor, so they ain't got to go looking for a quarterback. So and that's the even beautiful part, is you can maybe get yourself a haul like the Bears did and revamp your team quickly if Liam Cohen knows what he's doing when it comes to building a team. And I got to trust that he does. He made that offense relevant. And so remade them relevant, after
I'm
Brady.
excited. I'm excited for some of these coaches, and then some of them I'm
Mm-hmm.
just like I'm confused on. I really am. I really am confused on some of these picks. I'm confused. I'm confused on a lot of these firings. A lot of these firings that I see is just like, whoa, what are you doing?
And I'm glad you brought that up. Right on time. Right. So I have
Is that
to
the
think
Oakland Raiders?
they're the Reno Raiders now. Is who they are.
Oh, okay. Oh,
The,
so
the,
okay.
the
So
Reno
they play in the CFL. Okay,
the
I got
the
you.
the Henderson
The
Raiders.
AFL, CFL. Oh no, the XFL, Dwayne Johnson's
Okay. All
league.
right. Hold on.
Okay.
So let me see if Sarah's watching. Oh God, somebody's watching. Never mind. The Las Vegas Raiders have done an awesome job. So I you say confusing, and I can't argue with you. This one kind of threw me. So let's take it back. What happened? Why did he decide that he didn't want to stay in Seattle after he left his coaching post, right? And so then they made him like the player personnel president or something to that effect. So I thought he was done coaching. And so then he steps back in as the head coach of the Raiders. And you got to question, like, everybody talks about his age. I'm not as concerned about his age, even though I think he's 70 is what he is.
73.
73. Okay. And now my mom's 71, and I don't trust her to relate to the 20-year-olds. However, I believe that if anybody can do it, Pete Carroll is at the top of the bunch that would be able to do it. No doubt about that.
Can I tell you what made me laugh at his press conference?
Okay.
I have to tell you, did you not catch his press conference?
I caught part of it.
Marshawn Lynch being in the front.
Now, Marshawn loves Pete Carroll.
Yeah.
Loves Pete Carroll.
The way he was up front, and he said Oakland Raiders.
God bless in heaven.
Oh
yeah,
man! He stops him. He stops mid sentence and looks right at him, and the camera points over to Marshawn, and I'm just like, "Yo, gotta leave it up to Marshawn, man.
Perfect.
Marshawn,
This is perfect. This is perfect.
Hilarious."
So yeah,
but what I like about this, I love the experience. I love the experience that Pete Carroll is going to bring. He's going to bring a Super Bowl winning mentality to this team.
Yeah, a winning culture, and that's what Tom Brady stepped out and said. Is that the ownership wanted that, and that's why they let Antonio Pierce walk. And so look, I'm
why
like
not bring Antonio Pierce back though?
I don't know.
Here's my thing: why not bring? Because he is a player's coach. Antonio Pierce showed that when he was interim before he got the head coaching job. Max Crosby automatically said, "If you do not sign him, I'm not re-signing."
Wow. Yeah.
So obviously there is a love there with Antonio Pierce. You want your players to play. You need to have a player's coach. Pete Carroll ain't that guy. He's a strictly old school type player. Get it done or go sit down.
Well, and he's definitely we're about to see how much he does. We're about to see how much he changes for sure.
I like it. I like it. I like the move. It took me a little bit to understand why. I like the move, though. I like the pickup. I really do. I like the pickup. I don't. I get being 73, but I don't get the whole. I understand the firing of Antonio Pierce and the owner saying we need to have more experience, but you need to have somebody that's going to relate to these players, and Antonio Pierce did that.
I'm fine with Antonio Pierce getting fired because personally, I hope that the Steelers sign him. Anyways, next.
Oh my God, yo, where's V at? Where's V at?
She probably lifting weights right now.
She's probably working out, telling somebody, training somebody.
She probably lifting weights right now.
Yeah.
She probably lifting weights right now. It's fine. It's no big deal.
Hey man, you gonna have to put a lot of money in swear jar for me on this one. Mama Blanca, I'm sorry if you're watching. I'm sorry. First off, could you have picked a better picture with his shit-eating grin?
No, this is perfect.
Number 2, I'm gonna go down the list. His name is Aaron. You have a quarterback named Aaron. You're gonna
Not
be
for long.
problems.
Not for long.
Well, I think the problem. Well, I think the problem I had with his post with his conference with his interview. I
Okay.
think the problem I had with that it upset me so much. He copied and emulated everything that Ben Johnson said in his press conference. He literally was like, all right, I'm gonna take whatever Ben Johnson said and I'm gonna reiterate everything this man said and say the same thing in the Jets interview. And I'm sitting here back and I'm looking and I'm just like, okay, could you at least been your own person? Oh, everything's about the New York Jets. We are the New York freaking Jets. Brother, you just got there. I'm sorry. Shut up.
Well, so all right, fair enough. Let's
No,
be fair. That's the team
I
that
cannot
drafted
be.
him.
No, I can't be fair with the swamp.
All right.
I cannot be fair with a team that comes from the swamp.
The
No
swamp.
one goes to New Jersey and says, hey, I don't even know why people are Jet fans. I don't know why people are Jet fans. I don't understand it. You got a quarterback. Okay, first off, look, you got a quarterback who made it all about him. You gave him all the players you could, and then next thing you know, the coach got fired, the GM got fired. Next thing you know, the water boy gonna get fired because he ain't give enough water to Aaron
Well,
Rodgers.
they should have been doing Gatorade anyways, I guess. I don't know.
Look, I'm just saying, I'm not a fan of this. I'm not a fan. I think they're gonna win, and he's gonna be a puppet. He's going to get fired within the first 4 to 6 weeks of this of the season.
Aaron Glenn?
Yep.
That'd be tough. I'm sure they're gonna give him a year or two. If he can make the defense better. If he can make the defense better, it'll be fine. Because I don't think they're gonna keep Aaron Rodgers. I think they're gonna give him a chance because I think they're gonna drop Aaron Rodgers and they're gonna draft a new quarterback.
I can see this happening, man.
Because
I can see this happening.
The good news here is that they still lost enough games to where they're gonna still have a good draft pick. And so then what you do
I can see this
is
happening. Check me out though. Check me out here.
okay.
Follow me on this. I want everybody in the world to follow me on this. What quarterback did Aaron Rodgers back up?
Brett Favre,
Where did he go?
the Jets.
Okay. After 1 year, where did he go?
Did he go to the Vikings after that?
He sure did. Mark my words, Aaron Rodgers will be in a Minnesota Vikings uniform by the end of the season before the season starts.
That actually makes perfect sense too, because they need. I don't know if McCarthy's going to be quite ready, and it wouldn't. That'd be funny. That'd be hilarious.
I'm telling you, watch. Off-season free agency trades. Watch it happen. We're gonna sit here. We'll be talking about Aaron Rodgers with the Minnesota Vikings. Next thing you know, he's gonna be trying to get what the Devontae Adams over there to play on the other side.
Play with him. It's definitely gonna happen.
Other side of the Jet.
And so look, man, I'll say this because we got to hit a break. If either of them really want to be, if either of them really want to have a good career, a good finish to the career, they need to go to Houston and see our girl V. Look, man. So I'll tell you this: if you're in Houston and you're ready to enhance your fitness journey, at VFit Gym, we believe fitness is essential for a happy life. As a member, you'll have 24-hour access. That's right. You'll work out whenever you choose to. It's located in the Galleria area. VFit offers free weights. They got machines. They got a large turf area, and they even have cardio equipment. They've got a personal training team that will provide one-on-one sessions if you like, or small group classes to fit your needs. With affordable membership, it's easy to make fitness part of your lifestyle. So don't wait. Visit VFit Gym in Houston today and turn your fitness goals into a reality. You can check them out on VFit Gym Houston, all one word, .com, VFitGymHouston.com, or you can come by and visit 5539 Richmond Avenue to get started today and VFit your way to a healthier life. So
shout out to V.
Yeah, love V. Great work. What
I
she's
don't like
doing.
her. I don't like the fact that she's a Steelers fan, and y'all ganged up on me that episode. I don't like that at all. I will say that I do not like that at all. But I will say this: outside of her being a Steelers fan, and I hope you clip this so she can see this.
Okay.
Outside of her being a Steelers fan, she's phenomenal. Her energy is unmatched.
Fantastic. And a great. She's great. She's great in the field. She's great on the court. She's great on pod. She's great everywhere. So we're happy to be partners with her. So after this, we're gonna take a quick break and talk a little bit of hardwood basketball. Speaking of V and her basketball, we're gonna talk a little bit about play a fun game called Contenders or Pretenders here on the Fanatic Sports Podcast. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back to the Fanatic Sports Podcast. So I gotta say it. We've been missing y'all. Left my door open. We've been missing y'all. So it's good to be back. It's good to hopefully see everyone. I've been actually checking out on Instagram. There's a good number of folks that have been joining us, watching the broadcast. Some new faces. Very happy to have the new faces here. If you're unfamiliar with our shenanigans, don't worry. It gets better with time. So, but
Yeah, you're definitely right about that.
We've been talking football for roughly an hour and a half, so we figured we'd get a little bit of basketball in. And so I want to play a little game. This is new. This is a new game, right? This is new to the new segment, but I think this is going to be a fun game called Contenders or Pretenders, right? So it's pretty early still in the season. There's a lot of basketball left to be played, and so I can't just quite say that one team or another is going to be the end all be all. But we've got I picked out 8 teams, the top 4 teams in each conference. As
Good job.
Currently sit right now. Yeah, I was very
Good
creative.
Job. I'm so happy.
I didn't go the top 5 or perhaps the top 6 in each conference. I only took the top 4. So let's start with the team with the best record in the National Basketball Association.
You're wrong, sir.
Oh, are they not the best record?
They do not have the best record, sir. The Oklahoma City Thunder have the best
record.
Oh,
my gosh. By one game, by half a game. You're right. You are correct. All right. Well, then let's start with the team with the second best record in the National Basketball Association. As a matter of fact, this team beat. Well, actually, so those two are 1-1. Are they done for the season? Let me go look at this from a standing.
They're done. They only play 2 games.
2 games, yeah, because they're both West versus.
They're both different conference.
So they split West versus East. But the first game, the Cleveland Cavaliers beat the pants off the Thunder. Like, it didn't even look close. But after that, it was a few games later that they came in and they they didn't beat who am I looking at? I'm looking at the Cavs. So they didn't beat the pants off of them, and then a few games later, then the Thunder came back and beat them by 20.
Yes.
So interesting there. But so tell me your thoughts on this Cleveland Cavaliers team.
I love everything about this team.
Yeah.
I do. I love everything about this team.
Okay.
But I hate to say it. They're one injury away. And I'm not trying to wish the injury, but they're playing great basketball.
Mm-hmm.
They are great basketball. Look, you don't get a chance to see, like, Evan Mobley looks like the most improved player of the year.
So you feel like what if that injury? What's the one injury you think that they couldn't overcome? Where would you say it would be at?
Position? Spider Mitchell.
Okay.
If Spider gets injured at any point in time, and before we got the All-Star, but if he get injured after this All-Star, I have a bad problem. I have a bad feeling. It's going to take a little bit because there's so many teams that are now starting to click. We were talking so much crap about the Bucks. We're talking, we were talking about the chemistry with the Knicks, and the Celtics are all of course are the defending champions.
You're right.
But if you look at Cleveland and the way they have been rostered and have set up, Donovan Mitchell said it. He said it best in the offseason. He said, we took what we had last year. Right. They didn't change a thing. You do realize they didn't change a thing with that roster.
Oh yeah, you're right.
They're one of few teams that did not do a thing to their roster and kept their nucleus and realized. And Donovan Mitchell said, we can win a championship here. We're trying to do something that we're trying to do something that without a LeBron James coming here.
Right.
And they're very exciting to watch. I don't know if you caught a Cleveland game so far. I have watched maybe about 3 or 4.
Right.
Um, they are really exciting to watch. I can't say I've watched 3 or 4. I've watched more than
Okay.
that.
So you really like them?
I really do. I really do. I consider them a contender. I think they can be a contender. I think the inexperience is what's going to hurt them in the playoffs.
Right. Yeah.
I think the inexperience is going to hurt them, and I can see, Boston taking over that number 1 seed, and you
Mm.
definitely want to play against maybe the Pistons or the Hawks or the Bulls, who the Bulls are looking to try to get rid of Levine.
Yep.
Uh, so you look at that. I tell you, I tell you this: Cleveland can win a championship. They have the right pieces.
They're loaded and they can beat you in a lot of different ways. It's hard to argue with them. So all right, then let's get to it. Contender or pretender?
They are a contender.
Contender, he says. And I will agree with you. When I think of what this team can do, the way they can play. Now you're right. One big injury, and here's where I'll disagree with you. The one big injury I see that could really halt their momentum is their center.
Jared Allen.
Jared Allen. I wanted to say Byron Allen, but that's not him. That's another guy. Jared Allen. It could very easily be the one thing that shuts them down. He is their rebounder. He is their rim protector. He's their enforcer, and he can give you 15 points, and you ain't got to call a play for him per se, right? That. I think if you take away Spider Mitchell, obviously it would take a group effort to bring back head to combat the lack of scoring. But I think you could get that on nights from Okoro, Craig Porter Jr., Niang. Those guys could all work together. Karis LeVert too could all work together and put together the 25 points that you would lose from him. Jared Allen brings something to the table that I don't think you get from anybody. I'm looking at this roster, and I don't see anybody else on this roster that's going to provide what he's providing. I think if you lose Jared Allen,
man, I think, and look at it this way: the play that you're getting from Mobley, Evan Mobley, I think he should be if do what they need to do. I'm going to tell you this right now: he will win Most Improved Player of the Year. Without a doubt.
Gosh. So I actually, funny enough, we bet on this, and you're gonna be shocked at who I picked as my most improved player of the year. Norman Powell.
Why are we talking about the Clippers? Aren't they in
I said most improved player of the year. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, aren't they in 6? That's why I said I'm glad we're talking about the top 4, not top 6.
But having said that, speaking of most improved, let's talk about the team with the best record, as you said, this year so far at 37-8, the Oklahoma City Thunder. I'm pretty positive I know what you're going to say, but you tell me.
I don't see anything wrong with this team at all. Top to bottom.
I mean, like, you got to think they beat Cleveland when they came back and beat Cleveland. I still don't think they had Chet.
No, Chet hasn't played. You got to understand though, Chet has been out since I think the 3rd week of the season.
Yeah.
But they're doing this all without Chet. But here's the thing: you got Mr. Brightskin over there, in Isaiah Hartenstein, and for those don't know why he's called Brightskin, go watch another podcast he was on. That's all I'm gonna say, because I ain't talking about nobody else's podcast but ours.
Yeah. I can't shout everybody out, but okay, yeah.
But he's called Brightskin. He would prefer to be called Brightskin.
That's crazy. That's good. I love that.
Yes. He is Mr. Double-Double right now. He is what David Lee was.
Oh, David Lee. Holy moly. That's fantastic.
Man, it's a great comparison. If you look at the comparison I'm making right now, he don't need to do much. He don't need the ball to score. He gets his rebounds. He gets his blocks. He plays D. He doesn't. He's an enforcer down low.
And that's perfect for what that team can do with the way that they are currently constructed, even without a Chet. That team is dangerous.
Do you know how many more picks they still got left?
I won't even get involved. Let's just not talk about that right now.
Oh, what happened to those? Since you want to talk about them, the number 6 team real quick and throw that out there about your little Mr. Most Improved.
They're
Why
a
don't
good
we
team.
talk about the fact that y'all gave up so much to get to get Paul George? And look at what SGA doing. He's laughing at the Clippers right now.
First of all, let me just say, especially under Doc Rivers, that SGA would not have been SGA, the SGA that we are currently watching with Doc Rivers. But I'll let Freezy continue to tell you about that. Shout out to Freezy, first of all, because Freezy has blown up my Instagram views with his outstanding takes. But to that point, yes, what the Thunder have put together, they have built a very complete team without flaw, it would seem. They don't look like they can be beat in a 7-game series. And, so I'll say it. In my estimation, I call them a contender without question.
I got them as a contender as well.
Yeah.
And I give you all of what you just said, and then I'll give you +1.
Okay.
They have role players that can play.
Mm-hmm.
They play in a system that matches their style of play.
That's right.
And I love it. I hate I'm not one to, to sit there and boaster, and talk. But when I see good basketball, I'm a commend it. And they playing good basketball right now. Just like Cleveland, they playing good basketball. My only issue I have with this, we're talking about contenders and pretenders.
Sure.
At some point, in about 4 or 5 years, actually say 2 to 3 years, you're gonna have to pay these people.
That's the interesting thing. But I guess with all those picks they've got from whoever gave them to them, they could probably trade these players and then get more good players and retool. Is the only thing I can think of. Speaking of retooling, let's talk about the team that I feel like everybody will agree on. It's kind of hard to disagree with them, even with what we're seeing from the Cavs right now in the East. I've still got my money on this team as the team to beat if you want to represent the East in the NBA Finals this year. So I'm going to go contender without question.
Do I have to be honest about this?
No, you don't have to. We've had enough unbiased sports talk for this episode. You take all you need.
I got to. It's the journalist in me, man. They're a contender.
There's no way there's not. I mean, you look, Stephen A. and Skip and some of those guys on those other shows that make big money have made a fortune saying the most outlandish things. So if you want to call them a pretender,
I don't want to make an outlandish thing. I just don't like any team Boston, and I don't want to root for them. I don't have anything nice to say about this team.
You don't have to say anything nice about them. They're not.
I don't
good.
have anything nice to say about this team other than they won a championship last year, and that's it. And hey, here's my other thing that I got to say. Hey, Jason Tatum, he got an Olympic gold medal sitting on the bench, handing out 1,000 Gatorades to all his teammates. That's it. I'm good. I'm done.
Did he do better? Who had a better Olympic run, him or Tyrese Halliburton?
Tyrese got to play.
Well, there you go. All right, there it is. So look, man, these guys they're defending champs, right? So we'll start there. I don't know if I can say they've improved, but this team is they're gonna down the stretch. This is the team that it's not gonna be an easy road out here, right? And to be honest with you, after this All-Star break, because when's All-Star weekend? After the All-Star break, looking at what they face, so they got Charlotte twice. They got Washington 2 or 3 times. They got Miami, who is freaking imploding right now. Now, they do see Phoenix twice. I predict a 1-1 scratch on that. They got Brooklyn twice. God bless. I mean, this I don't see anybody left except for maybe Cleveland on next weekend.
Have
It's
they
the
gone?
Cleveland,
They haven't gone
and
on their West Coast road trip yet, have they?
yeah, they have. They have. Well, no, they got another one. They got Utah, Portland, Sacramento, Phoenix, San Antonio, and Memphis. That's in late March, from the 21st to the 31st.
That's going to be the real test right there.
But I mean, but they're playing Utah, Portland, Sacramento. The hardest team they'll face is Phoenix and Memphis.
It don't matter. Here's my thing. It don't matter. It's the travel thing that's going to bother me a little bit.
Okay. All right.
I think the travel and the wear and tear on Porzingis is going to be a problem. Al Horford's getting older. You still have Drew Holiday there, who I honestly think was a steal. I don't know what Milwaukee was thinking.
I'm glad you said that. Let me write that down. That's another. I'm making a list of, in case you're wondering, because we've been talking about it a little bit. I'm making a list of off-season moves that you look back and you're befuddled at, right? And Drew Holiday's definitely in that one. Drew Holiday from New Orleans to Milwaukee, and then Drew Holiday from Milwaukee to Boston. Both of those are head scratchers in the rearview mirror. But yeah. So look, speaking of head scratchers, one head scratcher from the offseason that we all were kind of like, huh? Was when Houston went out and they picked up Dylan Brooks, who had been an enforcer and a stopper and just a guy for the Houston for Memphis for a good number of years. So he gets to Houston, and everybody's like, nah, this isn't. You don't see this being a good deal for them. Signing him. Turns out he might have been, and I will say, I'll toot my own horn and say I told you so, that I thought that Dylan Brooks could be just what this team needed. And the standings and records might prove that he was exactly what they needed, which was a defensive stopper that could come in and be. He's got a little bit of veteran leadership. He's been in some tough playoff matches and series. And he's been really, really good for this Houston squad. They are currently second in the West at 31-14. Talk a little bit about this Houston team and tell me what you
I'm
think.
gonna say one name or two. I'm gonna give you two players, and that automatically should tell you.
Okay.
Amon Thompson.
Amen Thompson. Yep. Who had a 30-pointer.
Sengun.
Alprin Sengun, is that how you say it? I believe.
Sengun.
Baby Joker. They call him Baby Joker.
That man can play, and if you look at what Houston did last year, so let's take a step back for a second.
Sure.
All right, let's take a step back through what last season was with Houston. Houston goes on this crazy run last year. You're looking like,
I remember that. Yeah,
this team, they just missing a couple pieces. Fast forward to the draft, they get Amon Thompson. They get the Thompson brothers. One of the Thompson brothers.
Yeah.
Who I have to say, him possibly could be Rookie of the Year.
Listen, it's not out of the realm of possibility.
It's not out of the works for him.
Yeah.
But you leave it up to those two guys. You got a veteran in Van Fleet, who's a proven winner in Toronto, won a championship.
Won a ring. I was gonna say won a ring in Toronto.
Bringing a championship experience. You got Dylan Brooks, who, look, god awful. He's the villain. He says some of the dumbest, outlandish things. Who someone should just take his phone away and just ban him like they did Boosie.
Yeah.
They should just ban him off of social media and have him just focus on basketball, because the stuff that he just be saying just be outlandish. Things I'm just like, okay, brother, you need to stop. but they play a style that is reminiscent of a Sacramento Kings team.
Yeah. Yeah. Now you're talking.
A Lottie Divac, you gotta Sangoon. Lottie Divac can pass the ball.
Sangoon, great passer. Terrific passer.
Lottie Divac
Terrific passer.
Can get out in that mid range, shoot the,
He
get
can
outside
step
the
out
box,
and stretch the floor.
Yes.
And so
Sangoon
here's a fun. So shout out to Mayodoka, right? Who is the head coach of the Rockets, and he's already taken what they could already do with a very well built team, and they turned it into a very talented. He's taken that talent and put some grit behind it, like you said, that kind of that old school feel, and they made them very, very good. Very, very good. And they actually are playing right now. The Rockets are. They're playing the Hawks as we speak, and they're actually losing. Well, it's 21-18 Atlanta, but, obviously it's first quarter, so very early into that game. So I'll say this, and so I know. So I'm gonna presume you're saying they are a contender. I know. And so let me just say,
I'm gonna say this right now.
I'm not gonna combat anything
Here's
that
my
you just
Mr.
said.
Details angry hot take.
Let's go.
Let's
go. Holy smokes.
They are a pretender.
So listen, before I say anything else, I gotta tell you about Mr. Details. So look, if you're tired of seeing dirt and grime on your vehicle, and another shout out to Mr. Detail, another group that's gonna be with us at our live show when I come to town. I'm gonna give them a shout. I'm gonna let them hit up my homie's car. Let Mr. Detail give you a visit. They're a top-notch detail company. They'll leave your car sparkling like new, whether it's a full exterior wash or interior vacuum or premium waxing, you name it. Mr. Detail's got you covered. They've got experience. He's an experienced person. They use top-of-the-line products, so you can trust that your vehicle will receive the best care possible. So don't settle for a dirty car any longer. If you're in Northwest Arkansas, call Mr. Details today, 479-283-1636. That's 479-283-1636. Call Mr. Detail, and don't worry about nothing. But I'm with you. When it comes to the Rockets.
I believe they're pretending, man. It's great. How many teams we see that do this?
Okay. Look, and listen, let me just say it. There's a lot of basketball left to play. You said it. One injury could do a lot. They're missing Jabari Smith right now. I believe he's hurt right now, but they are a deep team. And I think in time they will become a contender. I just don't think it's going to be this spring.
And the reason why, and I have to tell you, how many teams you see come out real strong out the gate?
All the time.
And then they turn around and then they just get dismantled.
I would listen if it wasn't.
I think. Look. Hear me out. Minnesota has to get. They're missing one. They messed up. When we get to my team, I'm gonna explain something. But they messed up. They messed up by getting rid of one of the heart and souls of that team. They messed up.
Yeah. So
Minnesota is missing one piece because they don't play with heart. Minnesota don't play with heart.
Yeah. So and
the trade that I see that really helped them is about to propel. And I hope Bradley Beal stays and actually realizes, hey, man, you could possibly get into the playoffs and actually do something. They picked up Nick Richards. My man almost had a 2020 game the other day.
Yeah. That is
my man can ball.
That is a good pickup. So
what I'm saying, and the reason why I'm bringing that up, one reason why I'm bringing that up.
Yeah.
Houston, they can make it to the playoffs, but you've still got a fully loaded West team that is looking to knock you off your horse.
It's a lot of them.
And come after All-Star game, after the All-Star break,
That's when everybody turns up.
It's when everybody wants to play. Their level of play is different.
Yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
I don't see them being number 2 for long. I'm looking at something right now. They're 8-2 in their last 10 games, right?
Okay.
8-2 in their last 10 games. Their point differential between what they get, what they score, and what the opponent, what they give up, or what they don't give up is 5.8 points. So that number is going to change really, really, really quick. Because guys are going to start scoring and guys are going to start hitting them because they realize Amon Thompson is hitting. He's going to hit that rookie ceiling. Every rookie has done it. I don't care who you are. Every rookie has hit that rookie
each and every one of them. Each and every one of them. That's good. So I'll say that I'm with you. After all of that we said about how good they are, we still got a lot to see. So to me, I got to say that the Rockets are pretenders for now, right?
Yes.
But you bring up Minnesota and you bring up the trade. Let's talk about it. So with the slow start, right? And then they came on, and then there was some lag, and then they came back on. What are you seeing?
I see a lot of this is, and it pains me. It pains me.
Yeah, I know.
At this point in time, what I'm seeing, live by the 3 or die by the 3.
That's a dangerous way to play basketball. I can tell you that.
143 points. Second straight game that scored over 100. They scored 140 or more. Okay, Miguel. Everybody was making fun of the trade about how much we got rid of. We gave so many draft picks to Brooklyn to get Mikal Bridges and this and the third. I'm like, okay, look, it's actually come to smack you guys in the face for all you people who actually said this was a dumb trade. I love the trade, and I'm gonna say it right now. It just took them a second to understand how to play with Cat and Jalen at the same time.
Yeah.
Now these guys are playing Harlem Globetrotter type basketball.
So
the issue I have.
Okay.
The issue I have is the amount of minutes I keep, and I say this a lot in our group chat, and I say this, and I'm gonna say this live. 5 players.
God bless.
10 in minutes played. Mikal Bridges being number 1. Number 2, Josh Hart.
Yeah.
Cat, Jalen, and OG all in the top 5 just about. This is a big problem.
It's a huge problem.
This is why I hope if the Knicks do what I hope they do. If the Knicks do what I hope they do, and I'm going to tell you this right now. If the Knicks do what I hope they do. Trade Mitchell Robinson when he gets healthy and for this month, because right now he's revving up his minutes.
And
Mitchell Robinson and Utah and go pick up Walker Kessler.
So you can have a backup behind Cat to play the 5?
You need that, man. I would rather Cat play the 4. I'd rather have a decent backup, but you got somebody that you can be your 6th man. You got Deuce McBride down there.
So what?
8 center.
So what's the verdict here? What do you got? You got to be honest. You got to be. Well, I told you we've had enough unbiased. We've had enough unbiased.
They built
talk.
a team to beat the Celtics. Look, they beat the team. They built the team to beat the Celtics. They are contenders.
You call them a contender.
Yep.
All right. So I gotta be honest with you, bud. And it's not that I don't think they're good enough. My issue is that I don't think Tibbs is ever gonna properly manage the minute. And so you're giving them a contender. I'm going pretender. I don't see it. I just don't see it. I could be wrong. And look, well, this will be on the Opus clips. You can pull back and go get it and throw it up there, and we'll throw it. I told you so, and we'll do the whole shebang. I gotta call it until you can show me that Tibbs can manage their minutes. Every other point you show me is moot. Just to me, like you said, that 5 guys, the same 5 starters that are averaging 30. Deuce McBride is averaging 23. Everybody else is under 15. Precious Achua is at 18.
But look at his size, though. That's the thing. He's 6'8".
I
Now,
know.
pull up Walker Kessler. Can you do me a favor? Pull up Walker Kessler's stats real quick.
Let me jump over here to Utah. I'm headed there right now. And it would be great if they could. I don't know that Mitchell Robinson would be the guy that you could send to get Kessler. And the reason why I say that is because they got a log jam at the big man spot anyways. So if Utah was going to be looking for anybody to move Walker Kessler, I don't think it's going to be a big man. Matter of fact, let's pull up their depth chart. Here we go. So Utah Jazz's depth chart at the center position, who Walker Kessler, who's hurt tonight, and John Collins, who's hurt tonight. And then they start 7-foot Laurie Markkinen at the 3. Right? And behind them, they've got Drew Eubanks, Filipowski, and actually they are very, very injured right now.
This is why I say Walker Kessler would be a great trade. Look at he averages a double-double with about a block and a half a game.
Yeah. So they're resting Walker Kessler's shoulder. Laurie Markkinen's out. I'm glad I'm not looking to go see this. John Collins is sick. Cody Williams has an ankle. God bless. Like the amount of injuries, and then they still are going to rest Laurie Markkinen with all of these people out. That is crazy to me.
Because they're tanking.
Well, they're 10-34.
Yeah, they're in last place in the West.
I wonder, are they going to let Oscar Shibiwi, the Kentucky big man, get a chance to run with Filipowski and Eubanks with all of these guys that are out? I mean, you might as well.
That's what I'm saying. This would be a great trade, and I get what you're saying, where they may not be a contender to you, but to me, if they make this trade, they will be, because they have all the pieces. Then what is it? Then the story can be quote unquote complete.
That would definitely make them
But they built a team even with Mitchell Robinson starting before Mitchell Robinson got injured. If we can always play the what if, should have, what if it didn't happen.
Sure,
it did,
hindsight is 20/20.
But if MP don't play dirty and injures Mitchell Robinson, we're looking at Boston, and we're looking at the Boston Celtics and the New York Knicks in the Eastern Conference Finals.
We're looking at a very different. We're
not looking at situation. Boston playing and sweeping the Indiana Pacers, who had no business being in the playoffs to begin with.
Yeah. Don't get me started with that. The good old days.
But as I said, they're contenders. You say pretender.
I'm gonna call them a pretender. So speaking of, moving to the West, right? So this team is they're number 3 in the West. This is a team that is 31-16 are the Memphis Grizzlies. They've had their ups and downs. They've had a good number of injuries in and out of the lineup. Tonight, that looks like they'll have their full complement, minus Marcus Smart and Vince Williams Jr. So you look at that team, who they play today. Do they have a game today?
No.
Gosh,
they don't.
I should. Well, I guess I'm glad I'm saving my dollars to bet, put my parlays together for later on this week. So their next game is against Houston on January the 30th, so Thursday, which we will be live Thursday to interview the shooter, six-man shooter, Rod Earls of Tulsa University, my classmate. Who will be
I don't have to work that evening, so we will be good to go.
I'm looking forward to that. But we'll definitely be keeping an eye on this Memphis Houston game, because this is going to be one of those games where this is going to be one of those games where you're going to see a lot of guys. This is going to be a team. You just talked about it. There's teams that are the West is a the West is going to be a dogfight. I expect every playoff series to go 6 games in the West. I don't think there's going to be any sweeps. I don't think there's going to be any even the 1-8 matchup after the play-in and all that. I think every game is going to be a dogfight. I think we might see max games on in the play-ins and in the first round. I think everyone's going to go 5 or 6 games. It's going to be a fight. But this is one of those teams that can be that. That when they are healthy, Desmond Bain, John Morant, and Triple J, that's a squad that can really ball. I think they made the pickup of the draft. I don't know if he's rookie of the year, but I think it's the pickup of the draft and getting the big Canadian Zach Edey. And they've got a squad that that can do some damage in spurts. But having said all that, in my estimation, they're pretenders. I don't see the Grizzlies as a team, even in the number 3 seed this early in the season. And I know we've seen them carry and be really good even when John Morant was out. I've seen that, we've seen them, really take some teams to the wire in their series in the past couple of years. But I think all in all, I just don't see that they've got the pieces right now that are going to compete with the Thunder and the Nuggets and those teams that are going to be there in the West and that really are going to carry. I don't see the Grizzlies. They don't have that kind of fire to me, and maybe I'll be wrong, but as it sits right now, I'm gonna call them a contender. A pretender. Tell me you.
So when you're in the playoffs, right?
Uh-huh.
When you're in the playoffs,
Yeah.
when you're in the finals, you play at home, and then where you play.
You have to go on the road. And they say the series doesn't start until the visiting team wins a game.
Okay. As I'm looking right now, 11 of these losses of the 16 that Memphis Grizzlies have are away.
Yeah.
They're 12-11. You can't win basketball games in the playoffs if you can't win on the road.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you now. You're absolutely right. You are absolutely right.
I think Jaren Jackson, I think he possibly, if it wasn't for Victor, which honestly they always say they give it to the bigs on purpose for some reason, because they do this. But look at the other guys that play, like I think it, you look at what Orlando does and them getting, and I'm tell you right now, I think Orlando's the scariest team in the East right now. That right now was healthy.
Wow.
Got Paolo Banchero back, Franz Wagner back. I'm sorry, but
that's a big statement.
That's a scary team, and I'm telling you, just watch out. Just wait. Hey, we'll get it together. Well, one of the reason why I bring that up, Anthony Black. Shout out to Arkansas, and shout out to him for realizing I don't need to score a bunch of points. I can just pass the ball and play defense, and he's one of the most formidable defensive players on the perimeter in this league today.
Right.
They've lost their edge, and this is why I love Jaren Jackson. Jaren Jackson, the way he's playing, the way Jaren Jackson's playing.
Yeah.
Let me pull this up because I had it up here. Just wanted to go up real quick. Really, really quick. Yeah.
1.6 blocks, 1.4 steals, 6.2 rebounds.
Yep.
He's on it defensively. And then that's why I said I thought it was a great ad when you look at a Zach Edey who's averaging 7.5 boards a game, and he's 7'3", and no, he may not necessarily have the blocks to compete just yet, numbers wise. Which, I mean, he's at 1.2, so it's not like he's that bad. But when down low, that defense is there. But I don't think they're there yet, personally. But you tell me, do you feel like they could be a contender with the way they're playing defense?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Unfortunately.
I
Unfortunately.
don't see it. Like as again, you can win on the road,
Yeah.
then you can then you can change my mind. If you can't win on the road, you can't. You're not changing my mind at all.
And so, and look, man, like you said, right now, looking at it, we're still it's January. It's almost February. We're a couple days from February, 3 days from February. The All-Star breaks in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then after that, everything's gonna take a turn up for the better. And so
Oh yeah.
we're gonna see these teams we're looking at. These, we got two more teams to look at. These teams we're looking at, we're gonna see who actually is who can make that run and move into the top spots or be there, that we believe will have a great run at the end of the end of once we get to May. That's when this is all the basketball that counts is May and June. And so, but if you're getting that kind of, after the All-Star break, we'll start to see this. But as it currently sits, I'm just not so. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't, but that's why we're talking about it, right? Who's a contender and who's a pretender in the league today? And so right off the lot, and the next team I want to talk about that I think could definitely be one way or the other. They've already won a championship, right? Look, they put out. Was that were they the ones that got beat by Minnesota last year, or was that
Yes.
yeah, they got beat by Minnesota last year. And so and that kind of made Joker came into the year almost the opposite of what his name is. He's usually the fun-loving guy. We've been seeing him, he's been looking more like his brothers. His brothers always look like the Russian mob. He ain't been smiling. He grew that goatee. Man, look, that's a mean mofo. That's a mean mofo that's been on that we've been looking at all season. And look, his numbers show that he ain't playing around. 30 and 10. Right now, Joker is looking like he wants an MVP. And not that he even wants an MVP, but more or less the fact that he wants to make sure folks know that he is about, putting that business together and getting back into contendership. And so for that, I'm going to have to call him a contender. And it's hard to argue with what they do. Yeah.
I got to tell you what the greatest pick, I think this is probably one of the greatest signings.
Okay.
Off-season signings. Russell Westbrook
Yeah.
allows Jamal Murray to not play where he has to make the decision to pass the ball. It allows him to be the scorer. And that has changed the dynamic of how they play. I think they're going to be a scary team in the playoffs.
So I will say this. Now, I'm sticking with the idea that I think that they are a contender.
They are.
But shout out to my man Big Mark Winston. Hopefully we'll get to see him Thursday night when we talk to Rod. One thing he has always said is that you can't win with Chris Paul, James Harden, or Russell Westbrook. So I kind of forgot about that until you said it. But you're absolutely right. He makes it. Russell Westbrook is in a perfect spot because he's on a contenders team, which is where he needs to be because he's looking to win a ring. And so you're not gonna get anybody that's gonna work harder in the NBA than Russell Westbrook. Even more than James Harden and LeBron James and some of the top names that we'll see and say, Russell Westbrook is fighting for a ring. So yes, he's gonna work harder than anybody else. So I might agree with you if you tell me that he's a contender, but Big Mark does have a point. He hadn't been wrong yet. You cannot win a ring with James Harden, Russell Westbrook, or Chris Paul.
I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to knock that out and say that there's a possibility that might change when it comes to looking at the way this Denver Nuggets team is built, the way they're set up, and the way they're letting him play free basketball.
Yeah.
They're
So
letting Russell Westbrook play free basketball and get out there, and Joker's enjoying having a guy like him, somebody that can do the same thing he can do. And as a
and those two
small
are
man,
having fun together too.
yeah.
They're having fun together too. I think that's the biggest thing is that they're having fun together too. So speaking of having fun together, last team
So
on
they
this
are
list.
a contender to me in my eyes.
I agree. I also put the
I can't
Nuggets
wait for
as
you to go to this next and last team.
okay. So I'm torn.
I'm not.
As we said, so for me, I can't argue with the concept of a championship team, right? Um, which they won a championship 3 years ago, right? Against Chris Paul, 4 years ago, I guess now, against Chris Paul and that Phoenix team. And we saw Giannis play with his hair on fire, especially in game 6 when he scored 50 to close it out. I feel like we could see that again if they were to get that close. My problem is their head coach is not going to allow them to get that close.
See, get out of my head because I literally was going to say that. I was just going to
and,
bring it to you on two things. They're a pretending type of team. Okay.
now, I will tell you they won the NBA Cup, and I did call that. So,
I don't, man. Look, okay, fine. It's the Intercontinental Championship belt of the NBA.
that's a good. That's a great way to put it. That's terrific.
Look, you ain't winning when you got one name named Doc Rivers, and two, again, as I said it, with Memphis. If you can't win on the road, you can't win in the playoffs. They are 9-11 away.
Yeah, that's bad. That is bad.
16-7 at home. They're 6-5 in their division.
And look, here's the thing: the NBA, the Central Division is one of the really, to be honest with you, and maybe I shouldn't say that because right now the Pistons are pretty solid. The Bulls are the Bulls. They're bad. The Pacers are a very good team. We talked about them. The Cavs may be one of the best teams in the NBA right now. So I could see why they're having a little bit more of a fight than normal. But historically, the Central Division has been one of the worst. And it's usually like
Here's
one team
what
at the top and everybody else stinks in that division. So
something
kudos
I'm
to
gonna throw
everybody.
at you.
Okay.
Something I'm gonna throw at you real quick.
Mm.
I look at a lot of these numbers, man, when I'm looking at basing off my decisions when I'm talking about teams and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Cleveland's 5-5 in their last 10. Boston's 5-5 in their last 10. The Knicks are 7-3 in their last 10. Milwaukee's 8-2 in their last 10.
Yeah.
Right? They give up 111 points.
Golly,
They only score 114 to 115 points a game. That means they're barely winning by the bare minimum. So again,
squeaking by.
So again, you can do whatever you want at home. If you can't win on the road and you can't play good against your teams in your division, guess what? You're not you don't deserve to be there.
Yeah. Nope. You're not wrong, my friend. I definitely got to call him a pretender, and I'm right there with you. And I'm just gonna go basically based off the fact that Doc Rivers in the high pressure situations, I think he's gonna screw it up. I think he's gonna ruin the moment, and he's gonna make it so that we.
Hey, Freezy said it best, man. Doc Rivers is the problem.
Listen, not only can I appreciate Freezy for that, but also for the great looks and likes that I've seen from that reel. But he's not wrong, man. He's you look at what he's done, and this might be his best coaching job since he left Orlando, and this is still pretty bad. I'm just not sold on. I'm just not sold on.
Orlando wasn't his fault though. Orlando, when he coached Orlando, it wasn't really his fault because Grant Hill was not the same.
Yeah, I know. Somehow I feel like that's
and Tracy McGrady was tired throughout every game.
Listen, 5 years ago, before God rest his soul, as we get ready to wrap this up, God rest his soul, we gotta say have our moment for the Mamba. I gotta say that 5 years ago, you could have said that it wasn't Doc Rivers' fault in Orlando, and I would have fully agreed with you. Today, as I sit here, I feel like somehow Doc Rivers had something to do with Tim Duncan not coming, and had something to do with Grant Hill getting hurt, and had something to do with T-Mac getting hurt. It's all Doc Rivers' fault. I will never, ever, ever give Doc Rivers the benefit of the doubt ever again in my entire life. No matter.
I can't do it either.
Listen, it might be Doc Rivers' fault that I didn't make it to the NBA. Like I'm not gonna lie to you. I feel like that he had something to do with it. Um, I don't care because listen, if you're up by 10 plus points in 3 straight games because look, y'all are laughing at me, and I'm gonna have to do this. I just told you about, we're gonna do these baffling trades. And I've got a justification for why I thought it would have been okay for what we sent to go to OKC for the 2 players that we got back in return for it. But at the end of the day, regardless of what justification I give, it doesn't matter because it didn't come to fruition. And now I hate both of those 2 players and Doc Rivers. And I am not excited about basketball season because Doc Rivers ruined my dreams by not winning a championship when all he had to do was find a way to get buckets for Kawhi and Paul George and maintain the double-digit lead that he had in games 5, 6, and 7 when we were up 3-1. You can't win one of those games in a freaking bubble. Whatever.
Hey, so you still believe y'all winning 40?
I'm positive that we were going to win. We only need to win 14 more games, right? Yeah, we're at 26. We only need to win 14 more games. I feel very confident. And listen,
9 and 12 again. Looking at these teams, man. 9 and 12 away.
Listen, Kawhi has figured out where the rest of his family is, and now he's done worrying about the fires, and he's going to come back, and we're going to be great.
I really hope you're wrong, so I don't want to lose this bet.
It's 14. Listen. We're gonna at 42. I say 42 to 45 wins. That's where I'm clocking us 6 seed. We're gonna go in and we're gonna squeak by. I don't know. No, we're probably gonna get put out in the second round. I would say. Listen again. I don't have any hopes. And to
y'all
be
bring
frank,
it down. I'm gonna tell you, if Phoenix plays, if Bradley Beal stays as the bench, which I think is great because he finally solidifies that bench, man. Like, did not have a bench. This is
they
what
did
he's
not
not
have a bench. You are
understanding.
correct. You are correct.
This is what he's not understanding. They needed someone to come off the bench. Yo, dude, you're still gonna just because you're not a starter.
You still gonna
If
get
you
plenty of
can
buckets.
legitimately
Plenty of
play
buckets.
30 minutes a game and you still averaging 25 points off the bench, guess what? Now you in consideration for 6 man of the year.
Why would you say that?
You in consideration for 6 man, but now you're helping out your team. I just don't see. I think that I don't see the Suns going any lower. I think the Suns will make it. They're 8-2. They've won 3 in a row. They will make it and be up in the top 5 at some point. They'll be in the top 5, top 4 at some point. I really believe that.
I can see it. I can see it.
I
Just,
don't see. I see the Clippers going down, and if you really want my word, I think Dallas is out of it because Luka's out indefinitely. Kyrie can't handle the team by himself, and Gafford injured his ankle, and he's out indefinitely as well. The Kings are done for. The Kings are completely done for. I don't care what anybody says. The Kings are done. They're going to be figuring out trades for all of
actually,
that.
I was just about to say this just in. I don't know if you've seen this. They've started listening to trade talks for De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron Fox has a preferred destination. You're gonna love this.
Don't tell me. Why should it be like the Lakers?
Nah. His preferred destination is the Spurs.
Ew.
Well, not ill. They've got the alien over there, and they've got a really good team. And then you put a point guard on top of that next to Stephon Castle. That's not a terrible look. I'm
I give you
excited.
that. I like that. Okay, I can see that. I don't. I don't know. I don't know how that works. But what I guess Greg Popovich will figure it out when he comes back. But if somehow the Clippers manage to make it down to the eighth, or they make it into the play-in, and they have to play Oklahoma City, it's first
No,
round. Like, bye. Like y'all, you might as you getting swept under the
listen, I don't.
existence of
If you
basketball. There ain't no way
if you
happening.
if you ask us to play, all right. So let's look at standings. So in the West, I would say we would. I think we could beat the Rockets. In 7 games, I think we could beat the Grizzlies in 7 games. I feel very confident that we could beat the Lakers in 7 games. If we ended up in the fifth right now, just looking at standings right now, if we ended up in the fifth seat with the Nuggets, we're in trouble. If we ended up in the eighth seed with the Thunder, we're in trouble. If we ended up, so let's just project this out, right? Let's say the Timberwolves are going to be in the play-in. Let's say the Lakers fall and we stand still at 7 or 6, right? That puts that, and the Suns make a climb and they move into that 4 seed. I think the into that 4 seed. I think the Grizz will fall to 5. I think the Nuggets will go to 2 or 3. We're in trouble unless we get a hold of the Rockets, Grizzlies, or perhaps the Lakers. That's it. Everybody else, maybe the Wolves as they're currently constructed, which I don't think they're going to stay that way. I think they're going to make some trades and bring somebody in to help Ant out as a secondary scorer who can make a bucket on their own. Which, by the way, I think that might be a really great place for De'Aaron Fox is the Wolves.
So we're. Oh, by the way, you want to write this down? The most craziest trade.
Okay.
Cat for Julius
Yeah.
Randle.
I think
By
was that.
far the dumbest trade
Yeah, that was it.
Minnesota could have done. And I'm sorry. You gave us, dude. It's the first time in years, in almost 30, 40 years, we've had in the All-Star game, which honestly, I'm going to tell you this right now. And I'm going to say this. I think we should get rid of the All-Star game. I think the All-Star game is meaningless. I think it's a laughing stock to fans who spend all their money to watch meaningless basketball.
It is absolutely meaningless. I'm interested to see what this tournament's going to do, but we're at our wits' end. I'm not going to lie to you. We're at our wits' end.
But yeah, man, that trade right there, you can obviously tell who won that trade.
Yeah.
Obviously, we have two guys, and it hasn't, like I said, it hasn't happened in 40 years. With the Knicks, where we haven't had two All-Stars in the same, starting in the same All-Star game, in 40 years.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say this right now. Shout out to Cat and Jalen Brunson for making it to the All-Star game.
Yeah. And I'll tell you this, man. So look, like I told you earlier, man, I like y'all's logo. I thought y'all logo was nice. I like your team. I think that if it was anybody but Tibbs, I would have called him a contender. I just don't think Tibbs is gonna do it. Yeah, I'm not sold on Tibbs, man. And by the way, Tibbs is under that Doc Rivers tree. So take that for whatever you need to take that for. So I'll say that they're gonna give somebody hell in the playoffs. Probably Milwaukee. That would probably be a team I would think that they would give hell. That's what I was about to go look at up in the East because they're the number 3 seed. There's the Bucks. There's the Pacers. The Heat are number 6. It's driving me crazy that they're going through this whole thing with Jimmy. Would you see or could you see Jimmy in Minnesota, or you think he'd be welcome there again?
I don't think he'll be welcome there. I don't think they want the drama. I don't think they want the drama with him.
I'll be honest and tell you, he's acting like a
you
brat.
can't continue to look. I'm gonna say this right now. Jimmy Butler has always had his way with negative behavior, and he's always been rewarded.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot continue to reward bad behavior by giving him what he wants. And that's why Pat Riley finally decided to tell him, look, yo, man, we're just going to shut you down. You walked out. First off, you missed the flight.
Which is crazy.
So you got suspended for that. Then you turn around, you walk out or shoot around because you found out that you'd be coming off the bench.
Well, I didn't know that, but I mean,
yeah, he walked out on their practice because he found out he was going to be coming off the bench. He wasn't starting.
I mean, but they're winning without him, so
that's the reason why they said they wanted him to come off the bench.
Yeah, makes sense to me. Trade him to Orlando, whatever. I don't know.
No, they better leave that Orlando team alone, man. Leave that team alone.
That's your boys.
Look, man. I'm sorry. I like the Magic over there, man. I really do. I really do. They need to get better at home on the away, but I think they come with the fact that France and Paolo are coming back. Coming back strong. They both had. It's crazy that they had. It's crazy that they both had the same injury.
Yeah, that was a little icky. Not gonna lie about that. That was a little icky.
Just to think, man, they were before when Paolo went down, before France went down, they were battling for the 4th and 5th spot. Before that injury, they can win games. And
they're going to be a good team here. When it's all said and done.
I think Anthony Black sets the tone. He's become a starter. When he's a starter on that floor, he doesn't have to go and do. He doesn't have to do what he did in Arkansas, where he has to have the ball in his hands. But he's going to make the right play. He can knock down the open shot, but he plays deep, and you always need that one guy. Look at Josh Hart. Josh Hart plays defense.
Yeah, and you need that
defense. Guys, they want to score, but defense leads to offense.
They're gonna play defense first, and let it. This is
why I say Milwaukee's a contender. I mean, Milwaukee's a pretender. Milwaukee's a pretender. They don't have they got rid of Drew Holiday. They don't have nobody to play their top perimeter.
Listen, so look, let's lock it up with that, man, because that's a great take to finish it off. So before we go though, got to tell you about my homegirl Karen and the crew over at Top Kicks Officials, right? So if you're ready to step your game up. At Top Kicks Official, they've got the hottest authentic kicks that can help you do that. They take your game to the next level. Whether you're on the court, on the field, or you're hitting the streets, we've got the perfect pair for you. With the most wanted releases and the latest styles, you'll always stay ahead of the game. You don't just have to play. So don't just play the game. You dominate it with Top Kicks Official. Shop online now on Instagram at Top Kicks with a Z, so TOPKICKZ_official, and step into greatness today. So look, we appreciate everybody rocking with us. If you made it this far with us, don't just leave us out there by yourself, man. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. Looking forward to Thursday, linking up with Rod Earls, a current basketball coach, former basketball star for the state champion Little Rock Parkview Patriots, and great dude. And unfortunately, he's a Ratbird fan. But other than that, he's a really great guy. But
the Ravens, you mean?
Who?
You said the Ravens?
Nevermore.
Quote Edgar Allan Poe. What are you, Derrick Henry?
How many rings are they going to win?
My man did a pull to Derrick Henry in the offseason.
Oh, that's fantastic. So look, man, as I always say, man, for the angry Puerto Rican, we're always happy to have y'all here with us. And as I always say, man, tough times don't last. Tough people do, man. Thank y'all for hanging with us.
Peace.